And we're live. Game Player episode 75. We're meeting a few people, but let's get this show rolling. Also, we have a bit of a small surprise. Well, small surprise comes with an amazing package. And this package is she is absolutely adorable. She is cute and she plays games more than most people in the community. Is she here?
Yeah,
I
she's
think.
here.
Yeah, go ahead. Introduce yourself. Who are you,
Intro-
lady girl?
Introduce yourself. Hi, I'm Audrey. I'll help you with this
Hey,
one.
Audrey, how are you?
Hi, Audrey.
I'm doing good.
Audrey.
How's it
So, what do
going,
you want to
Audrey?
tell us of today?
So today I'm going to be talking about Gut Simulator 3.
Enjoy. I saw you and your mom playing a little bit together.
Yeah, we didn't
Uh,
get to see Big Chungus, but okay.
Are you
We got
enjoying the game?
yeah, I'm enjoying the game. It's really funny. There's so many funny memes. It's got that ugly drawing of a Daisy with Sonic shoes, and
Mm.
it's super funny. Has a weird cringy smile, and it's super weird. And my grandma just did this. It's annoying.
All right. What other games do you like to play?
I also like to play Minecraft.
Nice.
It's a really
Ha-
fun
Have
game.
you tried Legend? Minecraft Legend?
No, not yet.
We're gonna do that tonight.
Yeah, we're gonna do it tonight.
Okay, great. So if
What
you
else do
had
you like
to
to play?
choose, which one is more fun for you to play, Minecraft or Goat Simulator 3?
My honest opinion is Goat Simulator 3.
Okay. And I know how much you love Minecraft because
Yeah. I'll,
your uncle built you that house. That was amazing.
yeah. I
Have
got
you?
a new toy today.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Anyways, I like playing Goat Simulator 3 because you can dress up whatever you like. And there's
Mm-hmm.
also a lot of funny Easter eggs you could find everywhere, like Mission Impossible.
Oh wow. Do you know why they put Easter eggs?
I don't know.
Most people that are making the games are a fan of something like Mission Impossible or Star Wars. So they always like to give almost like a thank you for these type of stuff because they grew up a gamer or cartoon fan or what or Star Wars fan and stuff like that, and they want to give back for all the time that they had fun watching and stuff like that. It's always entertaining and fun to see Easter eggs in games.
Oh, tell them what you want to do, what you want to learn, so you can do something.
I want. Let me. If I can remember. Coding. Coding.
By the way, I really love the schedule plan that you created for your mom.
Yeah.
That was very a fantastic one. By the way, okay, did she play that game that some developer gifted you? I forgot which one it is. I think it's a puppy game. I'm not sure.
Oh, did you play Wobble Dogs yet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I can feed them different stuff, and they look super weird. I'm trying to get one with wings, but I do have a few ones with tails. There are also some ghost dogs walking around, and I have a little containment room where I'm trying to make dogs green, like aliens. I call it the Alien Project.
Are there any zombies in God Simulator 3?
No, actually,
Mm.
there's ghosts, but no.
Mm-hmm.
We did play Resident Evil 4. It didn't say
You?
Resident. Yeah, I kind of played, but
She
we got
walked
tired.
around.
Okay.
Yeah.
She walked around.
An
But
uncle killed a chicken, and he was granted invisibility, but he didn't kill a chicken, so he almost died.
she she can handle the jump scares?
No, there wasn't a. There is not a lot of jump scares, but
We're at the beginning of the game, like
yeah,
like yeah. So.
The fact that she know what a jump scare is, like that by itself, is funny.
and it didn't say Resident Evil 4.
Mm-hmm.
The title card,
Yeah.
like the original ones, they would say Resident Evil, and then whatever number it was.
Okay, did you know that we crowned your mom as the queen of Horizon?
No.
Because she beat that game on the hardest difficulty and made it look easy. She is that amazing.
Yes.
Did you play the DLC for Forbidden West?
Not yet.
Mm-hmm.
We've been doing one. She's been wanting to play a lot of Goat Simulator, so
Mm,
that's what we've been playing. And then we played a little bit of Resident Evil 4 last night, and then we plan on playing Minecraft Legends tonight. Oh, yesterday we also played an older PS4 game called Castle Crashers.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Um, yeah,
You went old school, old school.
yeah. So
You know,
we were all playing that.
real talk, shout out to you. There is nothing better than having a gaming mom or gaming parent in general.
Oh, thank you. But yeah, we try to find all kinds of different little multiplayer games so that we can all play together. Which is actually why I got Sackboy's what was it? Yeah, Sackboy's Big Adventure.
Yeah.
I actually wasn't going to get it because I'm not a huge platformer person.
Love it.
But I saw that it was multiplayer and it looked really cute, and Audrey actually does like platforming type stuff.
Yes, I do.
So
Mom is terrible at platforming.
yes.
She's always bad at platforming.
Sackboy Adventure is an amazing game. Great music, fun
Mm-hmm.
platforming.
Fun fact
I
about
really
Castle
like
Crashers,
the
it used to be an
toxic one.
Xbox exclusive until it wasn't.
We're not going there, and it's too early. We're not gonna teach this little lady about console war. Let her enjoy the Call Simulator 3. Oh man. I'm looking forward to you playing Minecraft Legend with your mom, Audrey.
Okay. Yeah, my mom was talking about it in the car, playing
Mhm.
Minecraft Legends tonight.
Oh, she also she asks from time to time if you guys want to play Borderlands 3 again. She loves Borderlands.
I
I can
mean,
Yeah.
that's
always
fair.
download it and play it with that. Like I'm down.
Borderlands is amazing, so that's completely fair.
I'm
Yeah.
motivated on violence.
Unlike Redfall, it actually have legendary
Did,
weapons that does legendary stuff.
did you guys just
So
hear what
I'm
she
down.
said?
I
Did
do
you just
love
hear what she
violence.
said? Say that again, Audrey.
I'm motivated by violence.
Oh, motivated.
I
Okay, time out. Okay.
Okay.
I don't
Excuse
know.
you. Okay.
I don't know what to do with this child, I swear.
Should we
Um,
be scared?
you
Carnage and
know,
chaos, that's all that matters.
I ask myself that question all the time. If I'm like, should I be concerned about this?
Nah.
Okay. I'm getting scared right now.
I know.
Don't worry, I won't come after you in your nightmares yet.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I think that's enough. Before Audrey starts planning our demise.
Well, you're the boss, Omar. I have nothing to worry about.
Hey, she's talking to all of us. She have
No,
plans.
no, not specifically about you.
Okay, I'm the target then. Thank you, Audrey. Even though I gave you a platform to speak and talk about Goat Simulator 3. Which, by the way, it's funny. Goat Simulator is actually goated, no pun intended, because it's genuinely a great
It
game.
is.
I
I
played the
platinumed it,
demo,
or
so
we
I
all
know
did.
it is. I think they skipped two, right? Like there is no two.
I don't
Um,
remember.
I have not played the previous ones.
I
My brother's
think,
played the first one, but
yeah, I think they went from one to three. I don't recall ever being a two. But
I think
yeah,
they had it too. Um,
shout out to your daughter. Again, no pun intended. She actually gained more than most people in the community.
I played for 4 years.
4 years.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, she's 9, so I guess she started
Mm-hmm.
playing, like seriously playing, like around 5, I think. So
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. So, Audrey, how about we get the show started so your mom can so your mom finish early and be able to play with you Minecraft Legend.
all right, is there anything that you want to say before you go, Audrey?
Yeah,
Anything?
I like playing Minecraft a lot.
that's already known.
That's fair.
You're more than welcome to tell us, give us an update about what games you're playing every now and then, if you would like that, Audrey.
Okay.
I do want to ask Audrey a question on here, just to see how she reacts. I've never asked her this question before, because I'm genuinely interested to see what how she thinks. So Audrey,
Yeah.
so you know that there are different types of. Okay, so you know the PlayStation, right? What we have, the PS5, it's a console. That's what it's called, right?
Yeah.
So you know there's different brands, like Coca-Cola, Dr. Pepper, and stuff, right?
Yeah.
So there's PlayStation, and then you have Xbox, which owns Minecraft. And then there's Nintendo, which is like Mario games, right? So how do you feel when people fight over which one is the best, and they get really serious and really angry, and they argue really like it's intense heat, and like people call each other names and bully each other? How do you feel about that?
I don't like it.
Why?
Mm.
Because I just don't like it.
What do you think? Like, what do you think's wrong?
I think I think they shouldn't be fighting for stuff.
Why do you think they shouldn't be fighting?
Because that's not good.
It's not good. So you don't think one is better than the other?
No. All of them are equally good.
Mm. I like that answer. There you go. Hope for the next generation, I guess.
Which one's your favorite though? Because you can have a favorite.
PS5.
The PS5.
Yes.
You don't like
But
the PC? We have a PC computer. We also have a Nintendo 64.
you don't hate Xbox, right?
I've never played on an Xbox.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
That's the
So,
correct. That's the correct
so that's her
answer.
saying she can't say because she hasn't played, so she can't have an
Yeah.
opinion.
And that.
That's
Mm-hmm.
good. All right, say bye, Audrey.
Bye.
So
Bye,
thank you
Audrey.
to Omar for allowing you on the show, and you can say bye to Nate and Weeb. And you want to say Nation or anything?
Automation is the best
Automation.
automation.
Okay, you're no longer welcome. Bye. I'm joking. Shout out to you, Audrey. Shout out to you,
She
Kay.
said
You
she
raised
said
an
bye and walked
amazing
away.
lady.
Taking my chicken.
All right.
Yeah, so let's get this show started. Shout out to Black Frost. Shout out to um, Stardust.
And Viper.
And yeah, shout out to Nate for making all of this possible. And special shout out to Kay and Audrey. And yeah, let's start. Game Player episode 75. Weep, how are you, man? What you been playing?
I'm good. I've been playing Jedi Survivor still. Think I'm nearing the end game, but yeah, I mean, a lot of shit to do every time I unlock a new upgrade. I'm just gonna go explore everything and try to gather all collectibles that I now have access to. So yeah, I'm
Mm,
taking my sweet time, but yeah, it's just fun. So and to me, it's running fine. I've again still no issues aside from one.
you never
Uh,
had any crashes?
well, yes, one, but I told you about it. That was a
Mhm.
The elevator.
consistent one. The elevator, yes. So
Okay.
as long as you look down, in this case, you should look down. You're fine. With
Have you
everything
ever
else,
had enemies getting stuck in wall?
not enemies. I have been stuck in walls myself, but
Oh,
like,
you yourself. Oh, that's bad. Enemies getting stuck in wall, I don't mind that, but you,
oh, oh,
okay.
but I do usually find a way to get out. So, thing is,
Mm,
like, most of the issues I've encountered are minor, or like I've encountered these in other games before too. So it's not really a big deal.
mm-hmm, gotcha. Any idea what you're gonna play next?
Uh, I have so many games to play. I mean, I still have to play the Advance Wars remake, a Metroid Prime remaster. I think I'm probably gonna finish Grim Grimoire once more because that also is it looks like an easy plat because you just have to finish the game. Um, and maybe yeah, Resident Evil 4 remake as well. Basically all the remakes. So it's
Mm-hmm.
crazy how many remakes we have these days.
Okay, gotcha. Um, and Nate, how are you, man? What you been playing? Okay. Kay, how are you? What you been playing?
Hey, I'm doing good. I'm at home, and it's good to be home. I think we already kind of said a lot of the stuff that we've been playing. We've been playing like just a lot of different things. Goat Simulator 3. We played Castle Crashers. Um, and let's see, a little bit of. We started Resident Evil 4 last night, and then I played a little bit of Forbidden West just for fun, just the combat. Like I already finished the game and the DLC, so I did that.
You're
Um,
addicted, eh?
well, like me and another one of my um, mutuals, friends who also likes, Horizon. She, we're kind of doing like, I don't know what you call it. Like, we're like challenging each other, kind of like facing off, like, friendly,
Okay, friendly
kind of,
competition.
yeah, competition. So, she will, kill, a big machine and then post the video and tag me in it, and then I would go and fight the same machine as her. Like,
Mm,
I would post that video.
mm-hmm.
Um,
Interesting. Well, I'm down to see who. And how do you decide who wins? Is
well,
it
it's not. We're not really doing
open to
like
it
it's a
just for entertainment?
competition, but
Okay, okay,
it's not
gotcha.
really like, oh, I won or you won. It's more like, hey, look at me. Well, I want to see you do
Mm,
it too. And then I
gotcha.
answer the call, and then we're both like, like, oh, you did great, like she did great, I did great, her, she took it down a different way than I did, and
And vice versa. Okay, gotcha.
vice
I like
versa.
that.
Yeah. This last video, I don't know if you guys saw it. I tweeted it earlier today, and I quote retweeted her so you can see her video as well. We both took down a slaughter spine and a thunderjaw that occupy the same area on
Oh,
one of the islands in
oh, you're
on the
talking
Burning
about
Shores.
burning shorts. I know is that.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
you did it at that same time, like nah. The issue is burning. What do we call it? Slaughtered Pine himself. His element is very irritating. It just builds up and then it hits you like a grenade. You can
Yeah.
use a potion to clear it down. Well, did you do what I think is best, which is use one weapon to almost like charm or hack a different enemy and have him fight for you?
Oh yeah. Um,
Exactly. Otherwise, I don't think it's manageable because you're gonna need to dodge a lot of artillery from both enemies.
right. Yeah, yeah. If you go to my profile, you'll see the tweet, the video where she, I think, because like on Twitter, at least when you don't, spend the money for the check mark like Innate does, you can only post a video as long as like 2 minutes and 20 seconds, I believe.
Mhm.
Um, so like her video consisted like of the kill shot of each one, and then the rest of the video was her like fighting like two sun wings, which they're tough
Mhm.
too. And then my video, I showed me taking out both the slaughter spine and the thunderjaw a little bit more, but I
Mhm.
kind of had to like edit it and like cut it because like it was like the whole video itself was like almost 4 minutes long.
Oh, 4 minutes. I
And
was expecting more, like 15, because both are tanky.
yeah, um, so like I couldn't upload the whole fight. So,
Mm.
but I wanted to keep like
The
my favorite
ending.
parts of the combat in the video, so I kind of like cut it up to where you could see me fight both of them a little bit. Um, but yeah, you can go check that out.
Yeah,
Um,
because,
I used you know how like it has the vent for the air and you can use the glider to,
oh yeah,
yeah.
it's
So
fancy.
I used that a lot too to keep myself up in the air.
I got you. And with that being said, anything else you have want to say?
Do what?
Oh, anything else you want to say?
Oh, no, I'm good.
Okay. As for me, I'm playing also Jedi Survivor. Tell out to a certain person I have access to this game and many others, uh, including Chia, which I'm super excited to jump in after playing for the Survivor. If I had to
Oh,
say one thing about this game that's almost like not revolutionary, but more like a welcome addition, would be the aerial combat. What I mean by that is when you jump and you start hitting an enemy, it actually adds layers to the combat, which again I like. I only discovered that after fighting a certain difficult boss was kicking my ass because I'm playing on the hardest difficulty. But no, I'm having a blast with this game. I've had a few crashes, a few enemies getting stuck on walls, and a few cosmetic glitches, but that's about it. My biggest gripe would be I'm sick and tired of cosmetics. I really wish lightsabers, when you find different parts, it would almost like give you more damage. Cause it feels like you're only collecting them for the trophy. There is no real excitement out of there is no real investment in it, which again a shame. Because when you find a cool lightsaber, you're like, nice, cool. You customize it, but then it does the same amount of damage. I go back to being disappointed. Would you agree, Weeb? Would you have won? Cause I'm not into the whole Star Wars franchise, but would you agree that they should have made it where lightsabers, when you find different parts, newer parts or ancient parts, it have maybe like force infused in them, something like that?
No, not per se, because I mean, if you're a fan, you're fine with them just being cosmetic. So I don't really think it's necessary to have modifiers or anything, or stat boosts or whatever. It's not really. It might have RPG elements in that sense that you can level up and gain XP, but it's not really an RPG. So,
Gotcha.
and by the
By the
way,
way, yeah, go ahead.
the best cosmetic is a mullet with a handlebars.
I will look it up. One of the worst thing I would say about this game, I'm gonna move on, is there is a respect for your skill. First time it's free, but second time it takes away your level. Every time you wanna respect, it's gonna cost you a level down.
I think you mean a skill point or what?
Yeah, which I find it very stupid to do.
I mean, considering I have all the skills and I right now I'm not even finished and I have
Wait,
3 skill
you
points
have
left.
all the skills for every single weapon and power?
Yes,
How?
but how? It's easy.
Damn, that's impressive.
I mean, it's at this point, uh,
Are you playing New Game Plus or what?
I don't know, just I mean, there is a perk that can give you more XP,
Yeah,
so that
I am wearing I'm wearing that, but I never. Yeah, no. Wow, you're impressive.
yeah. I mean, I generally fight anything that I come across.
Me too.
That-
I
So
fight it twice and thrice,
yeah,
but okay, we will see. Maybe I'm gonna get there. But yeah, let's just jump with the first topic, which is gonna be, no pun intended, Forbidden West. PlayStation announced that Forbidden West, the franchise as a whole, sold months 30 million, and Forbidden West sold. Also, sorry, Horizon, the franchise as a whole, sold 30 million plus, and Forbidden West is sold around 8 million, which in 1 year versus Horizon sold 10 million in 2 years. So clearly, Forbidden West is doing better sales wise than Zero Dawn. Um, so do you think that's a success? Because I've seen people say that's not success.
I mean, there's
those
no real
people are stupid.
argument. It's a success. I mean, people trying to
Yeah,
argue that it's not a success are just a bunch of idiots who are
Yeah, I know.
typically fans of the other console that are trying to downplay the success of PlayStation first party studios. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
we've seen the entire industry celebrate selling, 5 million for, the last Resident Evil, so on and so forth. Like, I mean, we know it's a success. It's not even a question at this point. How much of a success is whatever. I mean, but it's definitely beyond that at this point, and it's just going to continue to sell more as PlayStation, the PlayStation 5 garners even more fans, having, especially those having 30% of whom prior didn't even have a PlayStation 4. So um, I think that number is just going to increase as PlayStation exponentially gets, higher and more people are going to want to experience the games that we played, like Horizon and Ghost and so on.
Especially for the DLC, yeah? That's
Exactly.
gonna do numbers as well.
Oh yeah. So yeah, it's no
Um,
argument.
yeah. Okay, what's your thoughts on Horizon selling so much?
On here about Horizon's sales numbers.
Yeah.
I mean, like I think it's the big L that everyone thought it would be. I mean, damn.
Uh,
No, I mean, like we all knew that the sales were good. Like we
Yeah,
knew that they were going to do just fine.
I was genuinely like, I'm one of the people that didn't think. Uh, I knew that it sold well. I was just genuinely curious why PlayStation haven't announced how much it sold, because most of the time they do sell. But yeah, shout out to Morgan for saying, I'm just happy Omar can hush and some crying about not hearing about the sale number.
Yeah, yeah. Morgan did get on you at one point and told you not
Yeah,
to worry because you were
Yeah,
being
she
hella
did.
concerned, and she was like, "Omar, you know it's fine." Like, and you were like, "But they haven't sold the numbers yet, bro. I need the numbers."
yeah,
Uh huh.
I hate you.
Uh huh. Oh,
Shout out.
we didn't forget. We didn't forget.
Nah, she didn't forget. She came with. I mean, she's the receipt queen. She is the other half of Potrock, if I would say.
Yeah, Morgan got them receipts.
Yeah, precisely. Shout out to Seafresh. Haters gonna hate. Yeah. We Forbidden West Horizon franchise selling so much, and Forbidden West selling so much. What's your thought?
I mean, is anybody really surprised? I mean, yeah, we all knew it was a successful franchise, and it's a great game, so of course it's going to sell well. So yeah, I mean, it deserved all the credit and all the sales it's getting because it's that good.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. For me, I said it all. Congrats to Guerrilla Games. There is a reason why Angie Smith got what you call it um, uh, got not a raise but like promotion, and she is now the head of, I forgot what her placement is, but congrats to her. First Herman Hope with the first Horizon, and now this with the second Horizon. I'm curious who's gonna be promoted with the next Horizon, cause
Yeah, I
people keep saying it's failing, it's failing, it's failing, and it's not doing good numbers. I'm like, clearly PlayStation thinks it is. Otherwise, they wouldn't have promoted her. I'll
yeah,
leave it as that.
I'm gonna apply for Gorilla because that's a place to be to get promoted.
But yeah, if people want to genuinely know how we think about Turning Shore, give our last week a listen, or 2 weeks ago. That's when we went in about Burning Shores. But yeah, going from that, no one here is playing Tears of Kingdom, right?
No, not me, at
Yeah,
least.
sadly. Okay, so Tears of Kingdom sitting at 69, 60, no, 79 Metacritic. Oh, 69, okay, nice. So here's the thing. I don't have an issue
Wait,
with that.
like what?
Sorry?
Yeah, I was like, did you say the correct score a second ago?
You know, 60,
Yeah, no, he's right. It's
96. Oh shit,
69.
96,
It's
I was
96.
69.
like, what are you?
I
I
apologize.
was like, you
Oh
might want to run
man.
that
Okay,
back.
that's a
I was
blunder and a
like,
half.
man,
Okay,
Oh, it's
okay.
you over here
Can you
69.
trying to
put that
you
at
over here trying to
please?
get bombed by Chris, bro. You know you can't play like that.
Oh no. Oh
No,
no.
it's a
Okay.
69 because it's fucking everybody.
Oh no. Okay. Oh wow. That's a
Yo,
nah.
Chris about to show up at your
How do
door,
I
bro.
recover from that one? Okay, fine, I recovered. Yeah, no.
Did Phil Spencer get hired by Nintendo?
Like for real, bro. Like, man, if
Okay.
Omar, if you don't
Okay.
show up for next week's show, bro, I know what happened. It's cool. The
Okay. So
Nintendo's got your ass,
96. 96. It was 97. Bullshit
and
review.
yeah, it
Put
dropped.
it down to 96.
So no, not a bullshit review. Because a lot of people actually read the 6 out of 10 review and said they actually agree with a lot of what he said. So let's
Mm-hmm.
not dismiss the review just because it's not a praised review. Because I
To
actually
be
read
fair,
it. He
no,
had a lot of valid points.
when you give it an 6, when you give Minecraft Legend a better score and higher score, you're
I
not gonna be
mean,
taken
I hear
seriously.
you, but I'm just saying
You can,
I don't
but
know
that's the
who.
thing,
Hold
though.
on, I don't know who reviewed that other shit, and I don't care. That we're talking about one review. This review had valid criticisms, and he decided to give it a
You
6. You could disagree with the score. I'm just saying it's not a bullshit review.
you
Because,
can
yeah,
you can you can you can have valid criticism. We all do with games, but it's like when someone say Last of Us 2 is a 6 out of 10.
I could
Like
perfectly understand how somebody would say that. It does,
how?
I disagree with it, but I can see how someone cannot enjoy something to that degree. It's the same
Okay,
way
but
you.
I
Okay,
got
so look, Mario to me is like a 4 out of 10. The last Mario, that shit is unanimously praised. I do not give a shit. Mario Odyssey is
o-
the most boring shit I have played in the past decade. But I
okay.
understand objectively how it is an 8 out of 10. But that is not my score. You see what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I got you, but it's just how do I say that? As a reviewer, you're supposed to be objectively.
As much as you
You're
can,
supposed
because
to
we
have
know
your
people.
opinion in it. But if a game, let's say if a game have upgraded itself from the previous game in every way possible, and that game was not already 10 of 10, you're not gonna go from there to a 6. And especially if you want me to take your review seriously. Look, you can have valid criticism. I'm all for that. No, I welcome that and I need that in the industry. But when you give a game like Minecraft Legends a higher score than Breath of the Wild, then it's very difficult. Then you are actually making your point, your criticism, you're making it a mute. At least give it 8 and then
That's what I'm
mention the
saying. So
issue.
did you verify that that was the same person that did the review?
Sorry?
Did you verify the person who reviewed both games is the
No,
same person?
I haven't done so.
That's what I'm talking about. You have to know that it's even the same person that reviewed it.
I'll look it up later.
Because
Okay, but
I can
my
tell you right now, my review of Minecraft is very different than Audrey's review of Minecraft.
of course, but your guys are a different people. Come on,
Well,
but
no, but
I'm
that's
not
what I mean.
saying it's like. But the difference is, look. Okay, so then we're gonna go to the basic question: is should reviewers have an opinion or should he stick to the facts?
I mean, it depends on what you want to you they want to do. That's how their website is. Like, this is why you watch or listen to certain people, right? Like, you wouldn't gave two shits who this person was if they didn't review this shit at 6. So at the worst, it's working if this was just a ploy. But like I said, I read it, so I know that the criticism was valid that they had. Um, but the point is ultimately you can watch whichever review or agree with ever review you want. Like, a bunch of the people that review games, I don't know who half these sites even are. I don't even know most of these sites exist until Metacritic aggregated them, and then even then, I barely go to Metacritic. Half the time, the only reason
Mm,
I even know the Metacritic score is because it was posted on Twitter. Like, I just don't go
mm,
there. Like, but now someone over the years that I've liked their style and how they go about things is like Game Informer. So Game Informer is going to give you that very objective based opinion, the one you're talking about.
mm-hmm.
Gameplay, graphics, performance, story.
Did you
It's
watch it? Did you watch their video?
Game Informer.
Yeah.
No, I read the review. I didn't.
Okay, so you read the review
Yeah,
and what's their score?
you said what's you talking about? Game Informer.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I have to go back and look at it. It was a while back.
Oh, so did not okay, gotcha. No, cause here is the talk. What I want to talk about is the performance. This game at times is hitting 20 FPS. When you're doing a certain move, I'm aware of that. I watched the video.
Yeah,
But my question is, should that be excused? Because it's an old hardware.
I mean,
Or should
no,
Nintendo be held to the same standard?
no.
Because clearly they're not.
It shouldn't be excused. But we know how people are. Like, someone said on a podcast the other day that and this is bullshit because I don't do this. So I was like, they could speak for their damn self and the other people that do that shit because I don't do this. where like you're going to give a pass to things that you like, and I'm like, no, I'm going to do the exact opposite. I'm going to be extremely critical because I want this one flaw that screwed it up to be fixed. So no, I'm going to
Precisely.
be extremely critical, like we talked about with our scores for Horizon. Like Horizon probably would have been, a 10 out of 10 had the platforming or whatever and the jumping not driven me absolutely crazy. Like that's what I'm
Yeah,
talking about. Like the whole goal is to get a game that you love to be a 10 out of 10. You should be asking
yeah,
yourself, why isn't it? You know what I mean? And
yeah.
yeah, some people are going to be like, "Oh, it doesn't bother me." Whatever. Yeah, stuff can not bother you, but that's not a review. A review is supposed to point out the faults or issues that may have arisen and dock points accordingly. That's it. Like your teacher doesn't go, "Well, you got 10 questions wrong, but you're a really awesome student and you're pretty funny in my class, so I'm gonna give you 100 anyway." Like, no,
Hmm.
like that's the most ridiculous, stupid, asinine shit I've ever heard. Like, absolutely
But
fucking not.
that's what it feels with Nintendo with Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, I mean, some people definitely did that. They definitely found things where they would typically dock points or have docked points for the same thing in other games, and then just went on ahead and gave it a 10 out of 10 anyway. So yeah,
So I'm genuinely curious now. At what point should, because you know me, PlayStation is my platform, and I want PlayStation to be better. So at what point should PlayStation look at Nintendo and think maybe we should take something away from that? Would you rather? Because clearly you got a game like Forbidden West, and it's sitting what? It didn't even break a 90. Like, how is the disconnect between the industry, between what Forbidden West is doing, which is seamless transition between air and what we call it, ground and water now, versus and it's an open world. It's for I'm not sure it's 4K. Um, it's doing 60 FPS. I don't know anything about 120. Um, I'm not sure if there is ray tracing in it, but they're clearly pushing the industry standards. At what point should we, as people, start thinking maybe PlayStation is focusing too much on visuals and graphics, and they should instead focusing on more elements stuff to do a Forbidden West? Because real talk, I would have loved if Forbidden West have weather mechanics where if you are wearing too many clothing, then you're gonna be in a hot weather. Then you're gonna
yeah.
have
So I'm gonna stop you right there because I'm gonna
okay, guys.
explain when you start encroaching on too many things, like too many interruptions into your gameplay, you can also
Mhm.
inadvertently have a worse effect. You're thinking about things in hindsight and you're like, well, I can do this and that. Breath of the Wild or whatever and all that does those things because the world is ultimately rather empty. So you need a bunch of shit to distract you constantly with the weather effects and all this other shit. So there are things that do interact with Aloy. She does get cold and all that other shit. But no, I don't want to be worried about changing to her fur coat every time I fucking walk into a new area and I'm trying to fight some
Mm,
shit.
Exactly.
Yeah, like that becomes tedious.
You know what I think Horizon 3 needs to have?
What?
Breakable
okay,
weapon.
Oh god.
what?
Yeah, I'm killing everybody at that point.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. If you okay, I would rather have you say what you said last week. I think. Then you talk about breakable weapon and forbidden
Oh,
west. I will demand you. I will
Yes, we should have
officially demand you.
you know what? Get rid of the spear that Aloy always has and make it breakable, and then you collect
Okay,
new spears, and
y-
like maybe there's different types of spears, so then you can go find them and maybe like mix and match different types of
okay.
spears, and
Hmm.
y-
like you can even
I
customize like the handles.
I like the
you know
idea.
it's even better. That introduces stamina meter. It starts really low. So if you try to climb, a wall, once you get 3 feet high, you can't proceed because your stamina ran out, right?
Yeah,
And
stamina.
if it starts raining, you will slide down the mountain to your death
Mhm.
because, well,
Mhm.
the weather
Mhm.
hates you. That would
Okay,
definitely
so
improve Horizon to
we're
new heights.
clearly we're clearly making fun out of
But
Breath of the Wild.
what I'm telling you is, and what we're laughing at is, we're pointing out the difference and why that's completely unnecessary. And what you're focusing on is game design fundamental differences, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
it is designed that way because that is all that world has for it. It has to be designed that way. It's the entire focus is around that specific gameplay. So no, PlayStation
Mm-hmm.
is not going to magically score higher if they put 10,000 mechanics in a game, because
So
that's not it.
what is PlayStation missing?
They're
Because even a
not they're
game
not missing
like
that. What you're missing is what you originally started the conversation about, is the
Return of Fire.
personal choice and nostalgia. Correct. Now, people want to discredit it all they want. I really don't care. I mean, they can think it's there or not. But we hear let me I'm gonna explain to you. So the there is a review from, and I've explained this at one point in time or another, for what was it, Halo 3? This was Halo in its height, right? Halo shut down fucking Times Square. They went nuts, right? They went crazy. This was literally in its height, when the line would have dwarfed what you saw from people posting about posting about Zelda, wrapped around the block. Nah, man, they were wrapped around the block for the block that went around the next block. Halo was everything right then. And when the review came out from Game Trailers, they use a voiceover, or like a voice modulator, to like kind of make their review sound as even toned as possible. It couldn't even hide the just sheer excitement that this guy had for Halo 3. Like, it was getting, bare minimum a 9 out of 10. This guy's foaming at the mouth. Like, you could hear him
Mm-hmm.
smiling through the microphone. Like, it's
Mm-hmm.
he's a super fan, and this game was
Mm-hmm.
at its peak for him specifically. So he was just
Mm-hmm.
loving it. Oh my god! And then when you do this and you came out, and Master Chief showed up, and I lost it. I spilled popcorn everywhere. It went crazy. Oh my god! You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying that's wrong. I'm saying you have to discern that as a person who's looking for a review or a technical review of something versus someone's excitement for something, right? Like, there's nothing wrong with being excited. I'm not saying that person's bad, right? But what you see with a lot of Nintendo and Mario and Kirby and all this stuff, you see this bias for either the character, the history they've had with the character, growing up with it as their childhood. Half the time, most people don't even play Mario Kart if they don't have, five other people playing with them. So Mario Kart's not the thing that's really, fun the way that it is, the way people say it is. Because if it was, they play it by their damn self, but they don't. They got to
Mm-hmm.
get 4, 5, 6 people together, then play Mario Kart, then it's fun. But we know the reason it's fun is because the people you're playing that game with, right? That's what that's a different version of fun factor, right? Again, nothing wrong with it, but you got to take all these things to account when you're considering what people love about them. Some people love Smash, right? But some people only love Smash because they compete in tournaments or whatever, or they have a group meeting every Thursday where they get to play Smash. Like, there's so many reasons why someone could be biased towards something that comes out in it, and that's what you're talking about. But what you see, what you witness with Nintendo specifically, is a major version of this bias, because now everyone who grew up with Zelda are the reviewers. We're the ones that are reviewing it, so on and so forth. And whether you started with the original Zelda like I did with um, the NES Zelda, then you have I was talking to somebody in line when we were picking up Tears of the Kingdom, and he started with like Majora's Mask or something, and it's like one of his favorites. You know what I mean? So he started at a completely different era in gaming than me when it came to Zelda, but he still has this infatuation with it, where he's like, he spent 400 hours or something in Breath of the Wild, and he thinks it's one of the greatest games ever. Again, nothing wrong with that, but I already know, like, asking him anything technical at that point about his interest in this game is irrelevant because I already know, like, he already loved everything about the previous game. So this game, anything this game does is going to just maximize that nostalgia that he's already feels towards that game, that character, that world, and it's just going to be amplified while you're playing, right? It's like going to Disney World versus like another theme park, right? You
Mm,
automatically are hype out the roof because you're going to Disney World. Like before you even get there, the parking lot at Disney World is like the size of the Grand Canyon for a reason. Like Disney World is just different. And that's kind of how it is for these certain releases, right? Final Fantasy, don't get me wrong, does the same thing. I'm not saying it's unique exclusively to them, but what you see for them is just it's so widespread that it seems weird, right? But it's like I said, it's so many people are like my childhood, my childhood. I grew up on that. Oh my god, I can't let it go. Like they just so, and some of us don't have that effect. Like I said, I'm one of the
so
people where it doesn't affect
we
me.
so yeah, what I want we're never gonna get, which is factual information without the biasness. We
Absolutely
are
not. It's impossible because humans can't do it.
because the problem is what you are telling Nintendo it's okay to release a game like this that's hitting 20 FPS, that is bare bones in certain areas,
Yeah, I mean,
and that's looking like
if
this.
you're giving it a 10 out of 10, I mean, you're saying exactly that.
And that's my biggest issue. My biggest issue is not with Zelda. It's with the people that are praising Zelda as it's some the best next thing since sliced bread. That's my biggest issue. You can have your opinion about the weapon durability if it's something you like or not. That's fine. You can have your opinion if the story is good or not. That's fine. But you can't have a debate or an opinion about graphics or uh, how it's running and stuff like that. Like, no, that's factual information.
Well,
And that's the
people like to
information
bring
I
up the
wish people would
performance
focus on.
of, hey, well, it's on the Switch, so it is what it is. And I'm like, all right, yeah, that's fine. But it doesn't mean you still don't get dock points. Like, that's the problem.
Also, this game shouldn't have ever been 70. Like, I'm keeping it to fact. When
I mean,
you are,
I don't get on the price mainly just because there's so many things that vary with that for different reasons on that kind of shit. Like, I mean, I know people that go to an amazing concert for $50, but I also know people that, I couldn't believe I was having a conversation with Morgan about tickets for Beyonce, and it was like some of the tickets were like $5,000, and I was like, on what planet are
what?
people paying $5,000 to go to a fucking
Hey,
concert? Like,
they have the money, so they do them.
yeah,
I
but
would
that's what
never
I'm saying.
pay
Like,
5,000.
the value is always subjective to
Okay,
the user
the
and
value is
their means.
iffy to talk about. I got you. I
Yeah,
got
yeah.
you.
So that's why I say
Um,
like that one. Let's be real. Now the discussion that you really want to have with that is why did Nintendo think so, and the real reason is because they could. I mean it's just that
so they
simple.
could, yeah,
Yeah,
because
they knew they
clearly,
could, so they did.
it's gonna break numbers and stuff like that.
Yep, it's not even
Well,
It's
complicated.
well,
it's
could and have to, because I don't think they could have, like, if you're expecting them to sell a mainline Zelda title, at half price, it's never going to happen. It's devaluing your product. You're not going to do that. So it's both they can and they will, and they have to, because there is no choice there. The same with Metroid Dread. I heard people saying, why is it full price? Because normally Metroidvania games are not full price. Well, those are indie titles. This is still a AAA title, regardless of how it looks or how much money they spend on it. It's because this is a AAA franchise. This is a premier franchise, and it's valued as such. And if you're the problem is, and it happens, this is also with any luxury product, right? Like if it has like a strong brand, like if you're gonna discount it, like there's uh like companies actually like even products in your local grocery store, right? There are companies that basically pay other companies to check the prices of their products in all stores, because if they find out that you're selling their product at a permanent discounted price, they're gonna come at you, because they know that if you do that, you're devaluing a product, and people are gonna expect your product to be that price. So, and they're gonna think something is wrong with it. So you don't really have a choice at that point unless you want to devalue your product, and that's not gonna happen. So no, they're never going to sell a mainline Zelda title, for at a discounted price.
Gotcha. By the way, just wanna give one shout out and a highlight to our mod and podcast panel member, Morgan. She just got the platinum in Survivor.
She
Shout out
did.
to her for that. Um, Going back to the competition, it's just how do I say, if we're gonna give games like for what you call it, Breath of the Wild and 96, 97 on meta, and then you're gonna give games like Forbidden West, oh God of War, a 94 and not even a 90, then clearly the industry don't want to move forward. They want to be stuck with nostalgia.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, we all know the real reason.
That's what
When it comes to
frustrates me.
Metacritic, why PlayStation games always get dropped, because there's always stupid sites like Survivor or whatever that pop up that always statistically, you know, rate them lower on purpose, and then rate the other platform higher. And it's like PlayStation doesn't have 67 sites that you know rate their shit higher. So
Kay, what's your thoughts on this whole conversation? I have the feeling you don't care.
About journalism integrity.
Yeah.
Um, I think. Well, I mean, you have the clear biasm, going on, and it's like it feels like a lot of these journalists are taking their subjective opinions and and using them as if they're objective and scoring the game based on that.
Fucking thank you. That's my entire point.
yeah,
That's genuinely my
you're
entire
not wrong.
point.
That's pretty much all it's been. I mean, you're talking about some of these sites that get onto there are basically fanboys with enough money to purchase a website and maintain it. Like they're a one man show, or two or three people. So
You know what?
with the
You
entire
know what we should
goal.
do? We should make our own reviewing platform and like call it like auto
I
reviews or something, and we can
real
start reviewing games
You'd be
and
surprised
getting
real
how
yeah.
talk
little it takes.
real talk what's his name? King Trash did his own Game of the Year edition show, I mean. And yeah, it's just I don't know, man. I wanted for the industry to be better, but clearly the industry wanna be stuck in the past
I mean,
and not focus
ultimately,
on evolution.
you gotta do what we've always done. Word of mouth.
Yeah, play our
Talk to
games
people
and focus on that.
who actually play these games, who share
Mm-hmm.
similar tastes with you.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like, I mean, it was the whole thing. Like, I mean, Salty was saying the other night. Shout out to the trials. He was excited because um, he got to try Marvel's Midnight Sun, and he
Mm-hmm.
loved it. Because of the
Great game.
trial. But me in particular, prior to the trial, I already was interested, but the only thing that kind of threw me off was the card system. But
Mm-hmm.
like three or four people who, number one, share a love for strategy games the way that I do, and also
Mm-hmm.
know the type of games that I like to play, heavily recommended that I would love this game. And
Yeah.
once it was I felt like it was the right price because for me, like I said, this is a different industry question or issue. But
Yeah, because also you have a lot to play.
well,
So,
not only do I have a lot to play, but also the DLC. So the game has a lot
oh,
of extra characters and
oh,
stuff. And of course, me
okay,
personally, I don't like
gotcha.
to miss anything. So when I get it, I had to get the legendary edition. So I waited till it was about $40,
Mm-hmm.
and uh, then I purchased it, and I do love it. It's a lot of fun. Now, I mean, I got to find the time to play it more than I have, but what I've played, I definitely, you know, it aligned immediately, without a doubt, with what everybody said, because like, again, like I said, I know these people and they know the type of games I like, so those heavy recommendations made it an easy purchase.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
Gotcha.
that's all you can really do to negate the
Mm-hmm.
bullshit.
Gotcha. But yeah, go ahead, Shay. Continue what you want saying.
Oh, but yeah, like Nate was saying, it's people that, I mean, they're obviously, either fanboys or, I mean, it's kind of cringe to say, but like, or haters, and they just like, it's like they already make up their minds before they even write the review, which is funny. I was talking to Nate and Morgan and Priscilla before Tears of the Kingdom came out, before the embargo lifted for it, and we're talking about how, like, okay, we already know what game of the year is. It's gonna be Tears of the Kingdom, and I said, you know what, they should just go ahead and like release the reviews right now, like before they even play it. Like, just go ahead and give it the tens, because it's pretty much like that for games like that. Or if it's a game like that's not a lot of people are going to like we already know that they're going to talk shit about it. Kind of like with Hogwarts Legacy, where you had people that were saying like they're giving it a 0, not because of what the game was, but because they, I mean, it's their choice not to support a game. But if you're a professional and you're reviewing something, you need to be objective about the review. I mean, if you want to add a little paragraph saying, I don't support this, then yeah, that's cool, but don't put that into the review. If as a professional.
I
um
agree. As a professional, it should be professional. Your bias shouldn't be included, and that's my biggest issue. And sadly, I've seen a few get away with it. It's the Soulsborne fans, it's the Nintendo nostalgia fans.
oh, and also, like, last year, like, I already knew that Elden Ring was going to be game of the year.
Oh no, that was a
So
shock. That was a shock.
no, I already knew. I already
Because
knew.
God of War took a lot of what you call it,
A
prices.
lot of accolades.
Yeah, accolades.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't a shock though. I mean, it was. I already knew, but again, that's
Well,
because we know how they are. Yeah, we know how they are
mm-hmm.
with those games. Like, it's just like, you know, eh, you, everybody who loved them was gonna review them. They're gonna ask for the review code for whoever, that Souls person on the team is. But I'll take it. I'll take it. I want it. And like I said, they immediately were just enthralled from the get. Another Souls like game, and especially coming from the OG team, like they're gonna go crazy with it. I mean, and like I said, that's fine, but again, this is where, like I said, you gotta learn to discern for yourself,
Mm-hmm.
because you fall,
So
too
Tears
many
of
people
Kingdom
fall
getting close.
victim. I mean, most
Yeah,
likely, to
Tears
be
of Kingdom
honest.
won. It's won. We already know.
It's over.
Yeah,
It's over.
I mean, not for
It's
me,
over. It was
but yeah,
over
if you're talking about
the
the
day
awards,
the release date came out.
Mm.
yeah,
But I guess I'll end saying on this topic saying that um, objective professionalism is gone within journalism, and the only thing that's left is popularity and saying the right things to get those clicks and to get review codes.
yeah. I was gonna
That's
say
it.
that that's the other thing, right? The a lot of people that have these sites and stuff will a lot of people are, even regular people who aren't like an industry. It's not an industry issue. Are afraid. Like I know people literally afraid to be like to talk about how they don't like for the longest Breath of the Wild because it's such a beloved game. Like they're just like afraid of like the rabid fandom. Like like it's like I don't. I mean I've never cared because like I said none of these people don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't give a shit. They're not gonna do shit to me. So,
Oh
but
yeah. I mean,
yeah.
wasn't it Jim Sterling who gave it like a 7 or something, and they then DDoS his website?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, these fanboys are crazy.
Yeah, man, it gets that, but that's what I'm saying. Like, so a lot of these places, they're just gonna toe whatever the line is. You know, it's acceptable. Like I said, it's acceptable to give, you know, the reasonable criticisms. You know, the standard ratings, the way that we would rate stuff with PlayStation games. So you know, a really great game getting like an 8. You know, but I didn't like this and I didn't like that, so I dropped 2 points. It's like perfectly understandable, but it's like you trying to do that with certain titles like Zelda and stuff like that, people are ready to, like you said, they're ready to run you over, man. This is, it sucks because
Gotcha.
it's actually harming the industry more
It
than
does suck
anything.
because we're never gonna move forward, are we?
Well, you're never gonna get honesty from that. That's why again, your best bet when it comes to gaming is that circle of friends that you have, that you know, that are playing the game. They're gonna tell you truthfully, hey, you know, you like this, you like that, you're gonna like this. You know, they're gonna tell you the real issues going on, and they're not just gonna sugarcoat it and talk about how it revolutionized their life, and you know now they're a better
Mm-hmm.
dad because you know, Tears of the Kingdom came out, and you know, they make 100K a year now, and you know, life's great, all because Tears of the
Mm-hmm.
Kingdom came out. I know it sounds like that sounds like a joke, but I mean, people literally act like that. So
Mm-hmm. It cures cancer and all the stuff which frustrates me to no end. Here's the thing, final thing. Say what you want to say, Weeb, and then I'm gonna say the final thing, and we move on.
Oh, oh, what about the reviews?
Yeah, about Tears Kingdom, about the industry as a whole,
I
how
mean,
they don't want to move
I was
forward.
personally gonna ask we how'd that new promotion you know work out for you because you know Tears of the Kingdom came out, so I figured it just had to happen.
Oh man, oh man. Well, uh, sadly, I'm not partaking in Tears of the Kingdom. I mean, look, I've seen some interesting things in that trailer. To be honest, like I definitely think that the weapon,
The
so
fusion.
weapon crafting or whatever you all combining, that
It's a
looks interesting.
fusion, yeah. There is a fusion,
Yeah,
yeah.
but also what I'm hearing is it essentially the same map. Yeah, sure that there's an underworld now and you can go into the sky. Um, so it's not it's not revolutionizing the game. And the thing is, like, I don't really like. Yes, it's a big step, in a direction, not necessarily a bad direction from previous Zelda games to Breath of the Wild. But I personally, I didn't like it because it instead of being a Zelda game, it basically was, a typical sandbox game. It tried to be what everybody else was doing instead of just stay true to what you are. Um, and that to me is the main reason why I don't really like Breath of the Wild, even though I'm a huge Zelda fan. I pretty much played every one of them, and I thoroughly enjoy every one of them because yeah, it has its distinct type of gameplay that basically pioneer, right? I mean, the dungeons, the interconnected overworld using items that you find in dungeons to solve puzzles and unlocking other dungeons. I mean, that worked for me. That was a unique part of the experience, and that's kind of gone, at least with Breath of the Wild. I heard they did improve it a bit in Tears of the Kingdom, but it's not gonna move the needle for me. But I wasn't surprised that it was gonna get those reviews because they're giving people more of the same. The same people who praised Breath of the Wild so much, of course, it's gonna get those reviews. And the thing is, like, it's certainly part nostalgia. Nintendo's definitely getting uh, treated differently, especially with certain titles like Zelda than other manufacturers are. But there's also sort of I guess, like when you mentioned Souls games, like game reviewers like those kind of games. Like they like them, they like sandbox games, open world games, and that's kind of what uh, is sort of dictating how these games are getting reviewed. And yeah, definitely Sony's getting the short end of the stick. I mean, part of it is explained, of course, because yeah, if you're like, throwing a game like Horizon, like yes, they have to be objective, but they also they have to play games for a living, right? And generally the way that works is that's what I've understood from what they've said. Like if they see a game and basically it's similar to what they've played before, they're generally just um, not
Basically
going to be
jaded.
as excited about it than we would be because we play games, for fun. And the things like I've been a reviewer for a short time, for really obscure website, whatever. But so I got review codes and I reviewed these games. And the thing is, like, I can kind of understand that when you play a game to review it, it feels different because you're not just playing it for fun. You have an obligation. There's sort of a deadline that you have to keep. You have to keep on play. At least for me, like I know there's probably plenty of reviewers who don't give a shit and just play an hour and write a review. Like when I play a game, I'll try to get as much out of it as I can, right? Even if I'm not enjoying it. That's kind of the thing. Like you have to keep on playing the game way past the point where you stopped enjoying it because you kind of have to see, okay, is there something there? Is there something there? Does it get better in time? And again, that's for me. Like, and I want to give a game a fair shake, and I'm kind of also sympathetic towards if it's like a small indie studio that's their first game, like okay, look, because I like it does get to you when you're like when a studio comes to you, so, oh yeah, thank you for your review. Like, okay, yeah, I mean it kind of feels good if they're happy. You kind of feel bad if you're gonna give them like a bad review because they're trying and maybe at some point they're gonna produce something that's really good. So you also want and even though I was doing this purely for fun and doing a very short time, all these responsibilities that I was feeling, like, okay, yeah, I can get it. You're experiencing gaming differently as a reviewer than you are, as a normal gamer, and I can kind of see. Not that I agree with them, I kind of see why they gravitate to certain kind of games. But yeah, the problem is, of course, that this will generate a bias, and you will be less objective towards particular kind of games that you like and games that don't really fit that particular yeah preference that you've developed. And it seems to be sort of generally across the board. So there's a lot of like uh, plenty of websites that love Souls games, and of course there is certainly a calculated aspect to it that they know it's no longer like it used to be the case that they cared for what the companies thought, right? Because they want to have access to um, their events, their showcases, their getting early access to games, to preview events, whatever, right? And now it's shifted more towards user engagement, towards the readers, the consumers, because the landscape shift. Like it doesn't really matter anymore if you have access because even if you don't get a review code, you're just gonna buy the game or maybe the game is leaked, you can get it earlier, or you can and then generally probably doesn't even matter that much. Like logically speaking, you think, okay, if you don't get the review out day one, that's bad. But generally, what I understand, it doesn't matter that much if your review is later compared to your competition, because that's how it's driving traffic. It's like it's much better if you have like I don't know which side it was. He said there was one that gave Tears of the Kingdom 6. Like I don't know if they did that on purpose or is it just One's opinion, but probably part of that is okay, look, if we're gonna give it a controversial score, yeah, that's gonna drive traffic to our side because the haters are gonna come to us and want to check, oh, what the fuck are you on about? And people who you know all don't like the Nintendo or direction that Zelda's going about, they will use that as fuel for the narrative. So of
So
course,
any publicity is good publicity, you mean?
well, yeah, in a very simplified manner, that is. It's a different way of how they make money. Basically, it's no longer
Mm,
important that they have access to that they have to placate those publishers, but it's much more about basically placating the fans, right? Because they know that generates traffic, that gets an advertisement and blah blah blah. The whole spiel. Uh, the landscape has changed. That's why you also see a lot of these journalists really not caring anymore that they're essentially acting as fanboys, that they're throwing away any semblance of trying to be
integrity.
yeah, yeah, because they know it works. Like that's why you have a lot of these, especially with the Xbox side. They've seen that because they've seen that like, okay, we can make like a PlayStation centric podcast or channel whatever, but that's not going to generate as much traffic as an Xbox centric podcast because well, there's already a lot of PlayStation podcasts, there's a lot of competition, and generally like I love like to compare like PlayStation fans are like cats because we will never agree on anything, and Xbox eh, fanboys are more like dogs. They're like yeah, call the pack or whatever. They will always follow their owner, and they will always agree on everything because you have to agree on everything. If you don't, you're out. You're out of the group. And that group, even though they might be smaller as a consumer base, you'll get a lot more engagement, a lot more traffic, a lot more subscribers from that group if you are an Xbox centric podcast. And they see that. They see that like this is where this is how we're gonna essentially yeah, get money and food on the table, right? This is how it works now. It's no longer about the one who has like and there's so many like I think Game Informer has regularly have like these sort of exclusive deals, with a publisher or with a developer. Like, oh yeah, we get like a few, weeks ahead, like some early access, like some interviews, some we can show some footage, etc. But in the end, like that's not really gonna move as much traffic. It's traditional way, but it's not the way it works anymore. They know that it's much more profitable for them to just uh, you know once the game released, just either sing its praises or shit on it because it's part of the wrong team, because that's what sells. So if you understand how this works, it makes a lot of sense. It's not necessarily that they're doing this because they're bad at their job. They're doing this because this is what works. And yeah,
Mm,
it's sad, but in the end, like it's also unavoidable because like journalism, these outlets are businesses. They always have been. The only difference is in the past they were much more focused towards the developers, publishers. They had like literally collusions where they just said like, if you give us exclusive access to your game or to your studio, we're going to guarantee you a certain grade, or look up driver gate if you're interested in that. But yeah, now it's just the other way around, where they are much more interested in the viewers and creating a narrative that they like, rather than care what the publisher or the developer prefers to get.
gotcha. Um, shout out to what you said. I just want to say this. I'm not gonna spoil it. There are blah 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 amount of lines. There are blah 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 amount of Korok seeds to collect, and there is blah 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 amount of towers to conquer. That's literally a checklist. game. Why no one called that out?
I told you it's okay because it's Zelda. They're these same
That's
people.
like
These are the
that's
same people who
literally what
don't.
they hated about Spider-Man and Forbidden West. Like
Yeah, but
I'm
that was
co-
different though.
uh, Nate, I'm genuinely losing my mind over this.
No, I mean I know. I mean
It's
I'm
literally
telling
a
you. I've just learned
checklist.
to accept when it's certain franchises that people have grown up, they can't help themselves. It's the same thing with people talking about how much they want a new Star Fox, and it's like most of them don't really, but Star Fox has this nostalgic, historic place in a lot of people's minds, and they're just like, I'm gonna love it, and it's like,
And
no,
I need
you won't, but you remember it fondly because you were a child and that was your childhood.
hmm
Like it's
I need
just what
to
it is.
em- I need to emphasize on something. I have no issue with checklist games. Like I really don't. I play them. I enjoy them. I like them. I love them even. But when people were complaining about Forbidden West for having checklists and go then and give Tears of Kingdom 10, how am I going to have a genuine conversation with you about it then? Because
Yeah,
I can't. Because you're having now a double standard.
yeah. I mean,
Okay,
it is
yeah,
what it is, man.
sorry about that, people. I just saw the list and I'm like, that's literally a checklist. And
I mean,
yeah,
there's
I
also
remember.
a lot of it is kind of a make your own fun kind of game. A lot of what people are doing in it, it's like it like he said, it's a sandbox with a bunch of toys in it, and a bunch of people claim that they hate those games, but when Zelda did it, they love it. So again, like I've just accepted
Mhm.
that's what it is.
And you know, Zelda did everything first too.
Oh,
So
absolutely. Gliders, flying,
Oh, yeah.
falling to the earth, all that shit. Zelda just invents shit daily.
Mm,
They
um,
even invented Rise.
you know,
they
Xbox fans
inven-
got a
they
shout out to that.
invented breathing, but we leave it as that. Look, shout out to T Fresh. Look, when it comes to Zelda, I would have played it and give my opinion if I had a Switch. So that's not like the FOMO in me would have absolutely played that game. Cause from the look of it, it looked great for a Switch game. No, not uh, um the empty world map. I'm not a fan of the weapon durability. I'm absolutely not a fan of. Enemy take 3 hits or something like that. I forgot about that 3 hits or something like that. That I am not a fan of. What I would give it is the creativity. What I would give it is the amount of shrines that you need to conquer in special ways. I love that. What I would also give it is the stuff that you can do that affects the world. That I love. But yeah, let's move on. Deviation Games apparently um, released around 90 people, and their studio is around 200 people, if I'm correct. Shout out to Prince. He said, from the look of it, one of these two things is happening. Either that the project that they were uh, working on uh, um, got either canned or it got rebooted. And he said, making games is hard. Doing so while trying to establish a new studio is even harder. However, there is no getting away from this. This is grim and not good news for Deviation at all. I hope those affected land on their feet soon enough. Um, he said, you don't lay off uh, 90 people mid project if everything is hunky dory. And oh, okay, you are planning on buying the, oh, never mind. That's for um So it yeah, so he said it's 90 people. I would say two scenarios. One it's being canned, one it's two it's being rebooted. Not sure how big they were. Someone said they were rarely around 200 staff, which is insane growth uh, and impossible to manage successfully. But this is part of the loss shut that Shutter Studios. Um, so there is that. People try to cancel word, but it sucks to cancel word stuff like that. Like no, we're not doing that. Um, people that So what you? I'm genuinely curious. Did PlayStation make that decision, or was it done by Deviation Games themselves? Because PlayStation, they are working on PlayStation IP. That we do know. So, Kay, what's your thought?
You're talking about deviation and what?
Deviation Games is a studio PlayStation is working with. They laid off 90 people, and a rumor is the studio was only 200 people. And the reason for the layoff is speculated to be either the game is getting rebooted or cancelled.
Mm, I mean, I I really have no thoughts on it. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's we have limited information.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my cute.
Gotcha.
Hold on.
Okay. Weeb?
Yeah, I mean it's not good for deviation, but I mean it sucks for them, but yeah, they were working on on the games as a service game. So uh, as a gamer, I'm not sad that it seems like it's not going as well because I generally don't give a shit about games as a service, and I really wish that that money would be spent elsewhere. I understand why they're doing it. We had a discussion before, and they're going to go through that again. But like, I cannot be as sad about this than when they would be working on a generally, a genuine game that, yes, generally that's single player, but something that's just there for for our enjoyment and not generally just a money making machine. And yeah,
Mm-hmm.
the game is a money making machine principle, but you make money by sales and not nickel and diming people or with glorified slot machines or whatever you want to call it. So I don't know. Again, sad for the people working there, but and I guess it's also probably the nature of the business. But generally, like I cannot be sad for a studio that I have absolutely no interest in, no love for whatever they're doing. So yeah, I mean, in this case, I don't really care. Again, on a personal level, of course, I care for the people, but I don't really care for the studio or whatever they're working on.
Gotcha. Um, Nate?
Yeah, I mean, like we've said, I mean, we don't really know what it is. It's ultimately a rumor at this point. Nobody really knows what's going on or what they did or if they
Mm,
restructured or, but like we don't know, really know what it is. So, I mean, I can't really think much of it because we don't really know. When we get something solid, maybe I'll have a different opinion. But yeah, right now it is what it is, man. I'm not gonna. I honestly think whatever the reason, it was honest and it was probably for a good reason. PlayStation is not the one, not the company with the management problem right now. So chances are, they either saw what they saw, what they needed to, and certain things weren't going the way they should. The fact that the company isn't closed, and laid off a certain amount of people, maybe their particular job was done or whatever it is that they needed to do. I don't really know. So, uh, like I said, I trust that PlayStation made this decision for a good reason. So, What that is, ultimately, we'll see the results of at some point. So,
So, did PlayStation make that decision?
well, I mean, make the decision as far as whatever they were working on, because they're clearly working on whatever they're working on with PlayStation. Now, letting people go, that's not something. I mean, PlayStation doesn't own them, but if the company can't sustain, you know, X amount of people that they ramped up for the project because now the project's changed or the project is possibly in a different phase, then they're going to make that decision for them financially and what they're capable of. That's what I said. So PlayStation didn't specifically make that decision. They just might have been part of the process for it.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. Here's the thing. Okay, so now's a good time to talk about quality control. I'm gonna combine this conversation with the rumored PlayStation IP being cancelled. It's a sci-fi shooter that apparently been worked on for 3 years. My question for you: what's worse for the industry, or rather for the company? A game being released like Deadfall, or a studio like Deviating Games having to can a game and reboot it and then having people to lay up and stuff like that. I'm gonna also combine that with another thing which the developers at Redfall apparently have been laughed at by their peers. So again, what's more damning for a company? Releasing a game unfinished and broken, or release or can the game? Okay.
I'm so
Mm,
sorry. I had to put my dogs outside real quick.
no,
What
it's
was the
okay.
question?
Okay, so the question is, so you heard about PlayStation cancel? Rumor is they canceled a new IP, sci-fi shooter, being worked on for 3 years.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so with them doing that, let's say that it is true. Um, and with Deviation Games cutting, having to either reboot or cancel their game. Would you rather have that, or would you rather have a game to be released like Redfall? Which do you think is worth for a company, and why? And I will
Well,
even add one last thing that
I don't think anybody should be releasing a game like Redfall.
mm, so you would rather have management management than what you call it releasing game and canned a project the releasing game like Redfall.
You know what? No, no, I changed my mind. I would rather have a poor management quality. I would rather have to constantly buy AA batteries for my controller. Um, I would rather have games be delayed constantly, always changing hands. Um, and lots of contract work. I don't want the teams to be the same people doing the same games. Knowing the ins and outs of what they want. Um, and I just I want a hot mess because I like it spicy. So
Okay. We
Um, so question was, do you rather have a game cancelled than release as Redfall?
yeah.
Canceled
What
and then
Uh,
was for
rebooted.
the studio, or not studio, or yeah, studio and company as a whole?
well, I mean, in this case, clearly they should have cancelled Redfall. Um, I mean, it is fundamentally broken and it has damaged the reputation of the studio. And they clearly based on what we've heard, seem to be already going to work on their next IP. So they're clearly not going to support this game and get it to any semblance of a decent game. So yeah, I mean that should have that there should have been quality control, and they should have made a decision that game, like, sure, yeah, no, like, as a gamer, I don't wouldn't want any game in principle to be cancelled, or at least any game that I might have been interested in playing. Clearly, I don't
Mm-hmm.
care for Redfall, but you know, if I have to choose between a game that comes out fundamentally broken, and like it might have as well not have released a game at all, because there was no way I'm going to play this game, and a lot of people are going to play this game, and it's gonna, like, sure, if you cancel a game, there that's like, if you have a studio that, it might be the same with what are called, the studio that made that was closed recently by PlayStation. Like, maybe they're also working
Pixel
a few
Opus.
titles. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Maybe they also work on a few titles, and they got canceled. Like, it's possible that if you have a few titles that get canceled, that at some point your studio might have to close down, because that's just the nature of the business. Like, you clearly are not capable of releasing anything. But at the same extent, if you release a flop and a few flops, that might also endanger your studio. The difference
Mm-hmm.
is, you you'll gain yeah, well, I guess the difference is not that much for the developer itself. I mean, uh, I don't know what's better on your resume: a game that got canceled, or a game that got released at horrible reviews and was a broken mess. By the way, I haven't seen any developer really, making fun of the developers of Redfall, but I mean, I'll have to take their word for it.
I'm pretty
Um,
sure that's internally. I did. I saw one. I saw one developer from Redfall complain about it.
I saw one complain about, yeah, but
I
but
said I didn't
I
see
didn't
anybody
see.
actually doing it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah, yeah. I'm pretty sure that's done internally.
Nah, she said
Mm.
peer. She said peers, as in like
Yeah,
peers in the industry, like as if
Yeah.
people were doing it like on Twitter and stuff. Personally, I have not seen that,
Um.
so I
mm,
can't
I
corroborate that.
I don't. I haven't seen it on Twitter, but I would not be surprised if they have some type like a Twitter like, or almost like a
I
Discord
mean, something for
where
devs.
developers
you're
come in.
no, no, no. You're assuming a lot, because the way she phrased that, it seemed like there was developers publicly on Twitter. I assume that because she was talking on Twitter, were,
Yeah, she did
making
word it
fun
that way.
of the gaming developers,
So did
and
she say on Twitter?
No,
Cause
she's saying she's
I remember that.
okay. So I'll explain how this works. So you wouldn't state it publicly if it wasn't publicly. You see what I'm saying? Like if it was like Bob from
Oh,
account,
okay,
if it
gotcha.
was Bob
I
from
understand now what
accounting
you mean.
that was like,
Okay.
y'all bitches suck. Like, why would you write that? Like, you wouldn't write that on Twitter. Like, Bob from
mm,
accounting doesn't do that. Like, she was referring to like industry peers, like my peers, as in referring to globally people on the internet who also develop games, laughing at us, or our issues, our our broken launch, basically. Um, which, again, like I said, yeah, sure, she could say that, but personally, I didn't see it. I don't, but we don't, I don't follow the same people she does, so I don't know. But I haven't seen it. I've seen nobody present any evidence of it either. So, I mean, it is what it is.
he,
But obviously, people
he
took it and
didn't
ran with
he
it,
didn't either. That didn't help.
huh? I mean, I know Dell was just like talking about it, but like he wasn't like haha. Like she made it seem like people were just like just
Yeah, I'm not buying it either.
cafeteria, like, oh, you pooped your pants kind of like thing. Like, and I'm like, huh? Like, I didn't really see that. So,
Uh, and here's the thing: suppose they actually did that. Like, so what? I mean, in any industry, people make fun of their competitors
absolutely.
if if they screw up. I mean, uh, in any job, people do that, and that's fine, because you don't have to uh, you know like, appreciate everything and be nice all the time. I mean, if it's bullshit, then it's bullshit, right? And if somebody fails, miserably, and you know, sometimes, yeah, sometimes we will make fun of that because I mean, it's not like Arcane is like new to this. It's not like they're an indie studio and that's their first game, so they
Yeah.
don't really have any excuses for why. Well, we know the reason why it came up broken like that. It's because Microsoft had to release something this year to appease the
Yeah,
shareholders.
apparently they knew about how broken this game
Yeah,
a month before releasing.
Well, I mean,
So
it's not even a problem. Having actually played it, it's not even a problem of it being broken or hell even the 30 FPS thing because like I said, I played at
mm,
165 FPS. Even if the game was running perfectly and the AI wasn't acting stupid, like the game just isn't fun. Like the
yeah,
gameplay loop is fundamentally not fun. Like, and I know some people want to play it or whatever, but anyone who's played this game and wants to even remotely compare it to Borderlands is an absolute idiot. They have no idea what they're talking about. They've never played Borderlands, or this person is discombobulated internally and doesn't know how to do a comparison because this game is
yeah,
nothing like that. A bunch of the mechanics in the game don't work properly. A bunch of the skills are freaking useless and trash. Like they talked about it the other night on Mucha Show because someone who I know is a vet of Borderlands like we are, which is slow mo. Slow mo was like, no, like fundamentally, a bunch of the powers are broken, they're trash, they don't really work well together. And then he's like, a lot of them are specifically team based. He's like, what if you don't want to play the team? Like, this is again, people belittle, like again, how great of a game something like Borderlands is and stuff, and make it seem like, oh, it's just so easy to make a team co op shooter thing, looter shooter, and
dude,
it's not. Borderlands
when
has
you
been
look at
killing it for years
Borderlands,
for a reason.
Borderlands is ahead of its time.
Yeah.
Like
Like the progression system in Borderlands, like so many things Borderlands does right that people just take for granted, and this game shows you it's not easy. Like and I
mm,
bring up that transition, like I said, that Gorilla did when they went from FPS to Horizon. Like people keep belittling this because certain teams thrive and are so good at what they do and have achieved some crazy things, like going from an FPS to an RPG, so on and so forth. And yet you see all these other companies trying to mimic what some of these really amazing teams have done, and it's like it's not easy. You know, like there's a reason we haven't gotten another game, and we've asked that at one point. We had a conversation. We were playing Borderlands. Why hasn't nobody else done something like Borderlands since? Like, why is Borderlands the game that has to do it every time? Like, we gotta wait for Borderlands 4 to get something
dude, I
Borderlands like.
wish dude, I'm not joking. I banter about Redfall, but I swear, if Redfall gave Borderlands a run for its money, don't you think Borderlands 4 would have elevated the game?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it would have been nice, man. That, and like you said, the industry
yeah,
competition, the industry push each other, but if you know
It,
sometimes you ain't got nobody but yourself to push you, and that's where Borderlands is
yeah.
in that
But
space.
that's also the thing. Like when people when we say like quality control, people always think like, oh yeah, we're talking about bugs, right? No, we're not talking about bugs. Like
no,
I said, it's fundamentally broken, as in it doesn't work. Like this game should never
Exactly.
have been
no,
come to fruition. Somebody should have said like, look, this isn't fun. Like why are we spending time on this? Like, can you make this fun? No, okay, then cancel it and work on something else.
Yeah, somebody.
yeah.
This the thing that had it crazy to me that
Apparently,
made it really weird. Someone I talked to who does work in game development explained to me that what they played of that game was weird because they said it felt like a develop something stuck in the development stage where it was a basically a
Alpha.
proof of concept, like that you show. They go, hey, okay, cool, this is what this game could be like. Okay, now build the real game. Like that's what they said. Like they
Oh,
said,
so
like
it's
it
not
wasn't.
even an alpha.
Mm,
Yeah, like it wasn't done. Like he's like, where's the rest of it?
Uh,
He's like, this game needs
that's how it
two to
felt,
three
right?
more years of work. Like yeah, like where's the rest of it? Did you iron out the stuff? Like I said, some of the stuff doesn't even work. Like I tried another character because I played with Morgan, and I thought one of the coolest things looked was she played Layla, who had the shield, does the little umbrella shield thing, and I was like, "Ooh, cool!
Huh?
That's a power that's super popular." in things. Here's a shield. Let me release it. It releases power and it hits something, right? Well, I played that character at one point, and just to see that skill sucks. Like half the time it just goes through the enemy and doesn't do any damage. Like I was like, what the fuck is
Mhm.
wrong with this game?
So
Like
nothing
nothing
was
works.
tested. So
Yeah,
nothing
like
was tested.
yeah, I was like, who
And
did
so
this?
so how do you go? And again, I will always go back to Borderlands because Borderlands is the standard. How do you go from a game like Borderlands where you have not one but two different modes on your weapon? And legendary weapons are fucking legendaries that does something different that a normal gun doesn't have to wherever Redfall is.
Yeah, it was a mess. That was another
It,
thing. Then to hear the other thing that was kind of concerning to me personally is that I don't know who helped them exactly, but hearing that Machine Games and id Software both helped the
and
Redfall team
Coalition.
work on their gunplay. I was like, on what planet? Like, who did they send? The intern that gets everybody coffee? Because I've
I
played games
don't
from those
know,
people,
dude.
and they play nothing like that trash.
Spoiler for this game, if anyone even care. Apparently, there is no ending.
Oh wow.
Apparently, you get a new game plus.
Yeah,
There
not
is
a fan
no
of
real
that.
ending.
But I
Like
couldn't stomach it anymore, so we quit about 9 hours in, and
this game isn't like it's stuck in alpha phase. It's not even alpha. It's pre-alpha.
yeah,
Okay, enough of this game. So I am with whatever PlayStation is doing. I would rather them can an IP that I know that they worked on and it didn't come out well
yeah.
than releasing a game like Redfall. Apparently, and this is a rumor, take it with a kilo of salt, the studio behind Redfall already moved on from the game.
I mean,
They're,
I would
they're
move on
Yeah,
working
from
on
that
the next
tragedy too.
project.
I just said that, Omar.
Sorry?
I just said that.
Oh, I didn't hear you. My bad.
But yeah, I mean, I'd try to move on from that tragedy too. Like, I mean, it's a mess. And like I said, to the girl or whatever that had said that, cool. Like, I get it. I'm not gonna be mean to you. Like, I don't think you walked into work and wanted to make a bad game. I don't think anybody does that, right? Like,
No.
especially if you're a game developer. But I'm also not gonna sugarcoat it. You know what I'm saying? My criticism and be nice about how bad the game is because y'all failed that hard. You know what I'm saying?
Also,
Like it's just not it. Like I gotta pay for that shit to access it,
mhm,
and this is that terrible experience that I got. No, I'm not your peers and stuff like that. This is what you do. If I put a package in the mail and UPS, and it gets to the other side and it looks like somebody took a saw to it, yeah, I'm gonna get on UPS. Like you failed to do your job.
mhm,
Like that's anybody. If I go in the morning and I sit there all day and I don't do nothing and there's 30 emails just sitting there I need to send, I failed at my job. Like you not maybe not her specifically, but as a team, y'all failed to deliver a compelling product. Whether or
fucking
not
thank you.
y'all thought it was something good or not. So no, I'm not gonna be nice in my criticism and stuff like that. Like I'm not gonna jump at you as a person. Like cool, I'm not like, oh, I hope she loses her job, this, that, and the third. No, I've seen Arcane do some
No.
pretty dope stuff over the years. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, y'all just, but you gotta admit, like when you failed, you failed. Just admit it. You know what I'm saying? Try to correct it as best you can. Move on. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully y'all actually learn something from this, which is the important part, so that we can move on and potentially get some better products from y'all because right now it's not looking good in the Xbox camp. And
Mhm,
which is pretty much our next topic.
mhm. Yeah, which good segue. They're gonna be the final two topics in one. Shout out to you for letting me know about this. So, no pun intended, Innate put out a tweet saying, "What a great episode of IGN Podcast Unlocked. Finally admitting what so many of us had been saying for years. It's nice to see the honesty flow this episode. Neo Spark was also Neo Game Spark was also a guest, and he did a fantastic job. Before we continue, shout out to Gorilla Legend. Top man, how you doing? Going back to this, based on your recommendation, I mostly avoid stuff like this, circle jerking and all that stuff. But this episode, it felt so real. It felt like they had to be real, or else their own credibility was on the line. That's how, either that or them themselves they are fed up with what's going on. It kind of remind me with Salty, with Jazz, with all of them that have had hope and hope and hope, and when it never came with Xbox, they're like, I'm done. As
Yeah.
a company, as a person, you can just take so much before you're done. But I'm not focusing on that. Like them admitting they're wrong, not they're wrong, that Microsoft needs to do better. That's not my problem. My focus is what Ryan said, what someone told him, which is if you go listen to around the 20-minute mark or something like that, one person tell my Ryan McCarthy is right. I don't know what his position is on IGN, but I know he is big.
Well, Ryan McCaffrey is the host of Podcast Unlocked.
Oh, okay, so he's just the host. He is not
Well, no, he
doing
that.
anything with
I
IGN.
mean, no, that's his like main thing though. Like, is he runs that initiative is
Oh,
Podcast
okay,
Unlocked.
yeah, because I remember saying he have the competition with Phil,
Yeah, I don't
so he
remember if
knows
he's like the
Phil.
director or something. Like he's up there though. He's been at IGN for a long time.
Yeah, so he knows Phil on a business level,
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
and
he's
he
spoken to him a
interviewed
ton
him.
over the years. Yeah.
Yeah, and he said someone from the developer from Xbox came up to him and he is like, I am absolutely not happy with what Phil did with that interview.
Well, the way it made them feel, this person who's supposed to
Yeah,
be the leader, who's supposed to be
yeah,
confident in the work that your team is doing, and that you're going to give them the assistance and the tools to achieve great things, and you're like, I don't know what to do, basically. Like, I mean, we're gonna go in there and we're gonna do what we can, and you just like just sound defeated the entire time, and it's like, well,
yeah.
that's not a way to encourage your troops. You know what I mean? The
Kind of,
people who are gonna do the job.
kind of funny. Tried to cheer him up a bit, but like he shut them down in an instant. It was a combination of the TMA blocking, and I would not absolutely not be surprised if his job is on the line.
I mean, it should be at some point. I mean,
At some
if this is the
point, I've
result,
been saying it. I've been saying it. How do you allow your first party, your flagship title to be the way it is? And people gave it a pass.
yeah. I
But
mean, and
going back,
I've seen people talk about, um, the honesty and stuff. Like you said, they call him brave and stuff, and it's like, well, the problem is like, you shouldn't have been in this position to begin with.
yeah,
And as a gamer, people have to understand that this is the stuff that we're talking about when we tell you that we don't want this company owning half the industry, because if
hmm
this is the result of them owning things, why would you want, from a gamer perspective, why would you want a company owning things that can't produce good games? Like, not even we're not even asking for great yet. You can't even do good right now. Like, what is going on over there? Like, everything that comes out of this camp is a failure constantly, except for the stuff that most of these studios have been working on prior. Like,
hmm
and it's like, I just, I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry. There's not that much loyalty in the world, bro. You got to stop it. You know.
dude.
Like I seen somebody read the because they wrote like this really nice thing and talked about how hard they worked on Redfall and so on and so forth. And I was like, that's really cute. That's nice. I worked the whole time too during the pandemic and all that stuff. And I still had to get shit done and I still had to go to the grocery store. Everybody's about that life. We all had to
But
keep
the
living
difference
life.
is, if you fuck up, you would be get fired, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, like I'm out. So you still had to handle it, and it's like I appreciate that they put in all that and stuff, but I'm not again. This they're in a line of a culmination of failures, right? You're talking about
Mm,
multiple failures, multiple issues, multiple showings of failure in quality control. Um, and like I said, at this point, somebody said, when people keep showing you who they are, believe them. I believe Phil, and this is why we've said for a long time they need help, and I don't know how they don't know where to get it from at this point. Like I'm sure they got 200 recruiters working for them or whatever. And I'm like, you can't find somebody who competently knows what a good game even looks like because
they
Phil
don't.
Phil doesn't.
They don't. They don't.
So I
Like
believe
this
that
stuff,
man.
they don't.
Yeah, it's crazy. I'm like, you've been working in this industry for 20 years and you don't know what a good game looks like. This is crazy. It's crazy to me. But it's like it's cool. It's cool. It's okay. We're at the point now. I believe you, but because I
Oh yeah.
believe you, I need you to, as you are the leader and you have not lost your job, I need you to do something about it because this is something that we got into on Salty's podcast when Doc was on there, and I was like, look, I'm telling you, I don't want them to fail. I want good games from everyone. Why would I, someone with a 4090, not want them to give me more good games to play? Why? I have access to the
Because
games in their
brand
best form.
loyalty. They believe brand loyalty is the thing.
Yeah, they
They
think they
truly
think
believe
it's an
you
you
hate
want to hate them.
Xbox.
Exactly. I want, like why would I hate them? Like I want them to make good games. I want them the same way I want them to have a PlayStation so they can play the games that I think are good too that they might like. It's
Mm,
all about good games at the end of the day. So when you sit up there and you tell me, building great games isn't gonna move the needle, isn't gonna get people into your ecosystem, I'm telling you, you absolutely crazy. And I don't know what you've
mm,
been doing in this industry for the past 20 years. This is
mm,
always a content driven industry. You want to be the Netflix of gaming, that tagline they had going for a while, that joke. Bro, Netflix, the reason Netflix is because of the content they have. I joked about this with Morgan because Morgan has like a ton of streaming services, and I was like I joked because I was like the one streaming service I have never cut off, despite it being the most expensive one, is Netflix because every time I'm sitting here and I don't know what to do and I turn on Netflix, there's at least 5 to 10 things on there that I could watch. I might not want to watch them or whatever at the time or whatever, but there's always something interesting there for me to watch or something new or something's about to come or like they always keep the content pipeline flowing and it's got to be good quality content, right? Like that's the key. And it's like, so to tell me good quality content doesn't move the needle, you're crazy. That's literally
dude,
the only thing that moves the needle.
I I am shocked, still shocked that Phil Spencer said that. Shout out to True Bleed. Going back to it, dude. I'm so shocked because we're seeing the consequences now. What Ryan McCaffrey had to deal with that one dude telling him, not, I don't know if it's a guy or a woman, but taking point. Uh, don't you think a lot more disgruntled employees have feel created with that interview just now?
Oh yeah, I mean if you're working for this company and you're specifically in the Xbox division and this person's on stage telling you they feel defeated, like that would be crazy. Like it's like me working in IT like I do now and seeing my CEO at like Computex or something and him talking about how he doesn't know where the direction of the company is going to go from here. Like knowing that I work for this company. Like and I'm like the CEO, the person that makes millions of dollars a year, doesn't know the direction this company is going, and I got to get my paycheck from this company. I gotta log in and put in some hours for this company. Like, yeah, like I'm extremely concerned at that point,
Mm.
and I should be.
Um, Dude, again, I can't stress this enough. Phil Spencer came out on air and said, Making good games is not gonna move the needle." Um, Kay, yeah, we know what you heard last week, but genuinely, what's your thoughts on this? Do you think we're gonna maybe see or hear more people being disgruntled with Xbox leadership?
Um, I mean, I think we will hear more. Um, if not, I think we'll see a lot of people leave, a lot more than what
Than
we've
already
been
have.
seeing, to the point, yeah, to the point to where it's just undeniable, and it's like it just it goes from speculation to observation, and then it's like, okay, there is something wrong, and it's undeniable. Like it's more, this is not just a coincidence that all these people are leaving. They're getting hired on, and then like a year later they turn around and leave. Like there has to be something wrong at that point.
When you are a prominent big Xbox, what you call it, podcast, and even you can't defend this? Like, they sounded so normal that you almost forgot that you were listening to an Xbox podcast.
It was beautiful. It was beautiful. I was like, oh my god, all this
The only,
honesty, all this
the
honesty. I
only
love it.
reason heard, the only person that I heard was defending it was that woman.
Yeah, the girl. Yeah, she
She
was
tried,
she tried so many times. But maybe, and I was like,
yeah.
they were just like, no, no, just there's no.
Even Destin shut her off. Uh, but you know the funny part is, this is the same Destin that a day later went back to capping. It's like they can't
That's why I said like that was like a rare moment where it felt like the veil was lifted, and it was
of
like, oh,
clarity.
we're getting the real feelings for once, you know, like,
Yep,
oh man, you know. And when she said, you know, she tried to belittle the lineup that PlayStation has and go, you know, this is like The Last of Us, but that's not gonna make
switch.
me switch or whatever. And then Dustin was like, oh yeah, well what about Ghost of Tsushima? And what about Final Fantasy 16? And what about Horizon? And what about, he was like, I could keep, you know, like basically I could keep going, you know. And he's like, yeah, that's gonna make you, yeah. What about that?
Yeah,
You know, and like I was like,
she
oh
got
man,
shut.
Dustin sounding off for PlayStation though. Oh man.
Yeah, not even that. Not even that. Ryan McCarthy, even when
Mm-hmm.
Phil Spencer talked about Xbox, about PlayStation, quote unquote, I hate that word, money hating.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well,
He
no,
called
but
him
hey, here.
out on it.
So
They
the
literally talked
funny
about
thing is,
how like
yeah, he
he
mentioned
literally
that
talked
they
about
do
how
it,
they, yeah,
but the key though, the key in the statement when they asked him about that, when he mentioned it was harder for them to do third party deals, in his interview, people, this is again the problem with fanboys. They don't realize the reason it's harder for them to get the deals is because they don't have the same purchasing power as PlayStation fans. This is why we laugh when they go, it's irrelevant how many consoles are sold or how much market share they have. We're everywhere and blah blah. It's like, no, 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 no. You guys have created an ecosystem that thrives on literally not selling games and not selling consoles. And then you wonder why it's harder for you to create these deals. It what by harder he means it costs them more money, and it's harder for them to get them because companies, the other problem, they created this ecosystem of depending or you know, this fan base that depends on Game Pass. So part of a third party deal with them now, because you can see it in pretty much every third party deal they've made, What else has to happen besides you coming to Xbox exclusively for 3 to 6 months or a year? You must come to what? You must come on Game Pass day one.
Yeah,
How badly do you think that is going to destroy your sales? Because now the other problem is not only are you cannibalizing sales from the Xbox, but you're also potentially cannibalizing sales from the PC because PC is their biggest Game Pass user base. So now
and
you
there's
got to pay for that twofold, and you got to pay for all the PlayStation fans they're going to be missing out on by not releasing that game for whatever duration of time that they're going to release it. That's why it's
and there is
hard.
and there is also the Series S that is harping developers, which is preventing Xbox from getting exclusivity deals with certain stuff, to the
Exactly.
point where they're missing out on a game like Border Dash 3. What's your thoughts on the interview? Not the interview, the podcast, and also the what you call it, the person that telling Ryan McCarthy that he didn't like Phil's interview.
Well, first of all, fuck you, Omar, for making me watch that Xbox podcast.
Come on, that was good. It was
It
good.
was so good. It was so good.
It
Weeb,
was.
I know
It
you love all
was.
the
Come
honesty
on.
that was just
Even
It,
you
flowing.
gotta admit.
it was satisfying that at some
Thank you.
finally
See,
you
Yeah.
have to admit it. They can no longer spin this bullshit.
they couldn't. They couldn't. Even the woman that tried, they all shut her down.
Yeah, I mean, sort of at some point, basically, what do you call it, top, and they're spinning, and at some point, like just like in fuck, got tired of the movie. You know which movie I mean, right? When it stops spinning, we have to wake up.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Inception. Yeah, that's
Inception.
it.
Yeah, there you go.
And,
Shout out to
and,
Neil Park, eh? He did amazing work
No,
there.
no, he did a good job on the show.
Mm,
yeah. So yeah. I mean, that was pretty amazing. And even Destin, the guy who basically admits that he became an Xbox fanboy, YouTuber because of the money.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can no longer defend this shit.
mm-hmm. He had to take a backseat to that woman. She was defending Xbox, and he had to reel her back in. Remember her, like, nah, lady, it's over. You gotta come clean. You know what crazy is? It when Ryan McCarthy literally called out Phil
Carefully.
Spencer. Thank you.
Yeah.
When he literally called out Phil Spencer about his comment about PlayStation doing deals. He did
Mhm.
it. He did it in two ways. The first way he mentioned Bethesda, the acquisition of. He
Which
literally
is what
called
we
out
said. We said that instead of making a third party deal, you bought the whole damn company.
and you killed PlayStation versions.
Yep.
He literally said that. This is why I love this moment. There was no zero denying
Yep.
about that. But the second part is the best one when he said 360 was literally built on
Third party
taking
deals.
and third party deals. Why are you not doing them? And I love it. I genuinely loved it. Wait, are we still live?
We should be.
Yeah, we are. Cause my video stopped. Um, but yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy how real that interview, that podcast was. But
The,
then,
the only thing that still pisses me off is that they keep saying, "Oh, but Phil is such a nice guy." Like, how the fuck do you know? I mean, he's always this
um,
is part of his
who
job, right?
I think I think because they met him, they truly believe he's a nice guy because of quote unquote they have been with him, they talk with them and stuff like that, chat with them, have a dinner or stuff like that. Cause you know. journalists
Yeah,
and all that stuff.
but that is also all part of the game. I mean, I know people like that. I've met people like that. They're really nice. They always say the right thing, but in the end, it's all about the Benjamins. They all
Oh
just
yeah.
want your money, or your influence, or your viewers, or whatever they can get.
Yeah.
And
Mm,
they're not like, the thing is, like, they keep stating that he's like, not that he's done great things or whatever, right? But has he, though? Because everything he's doing self-serving. Everything is part of uh, pushing his agenda, pushing the Xbox agenda, Microsoft agenda. There is nothing genuine about him. He's a used car salesman, and yeah, used car salesmen know how to please you, know how to get on your good side, and they know how to, they will compliment you. They will they'll give you stock market tips, whatever, right? But in the end, they're trying to sell you shitty car.
mm,
That's what they want, and
um,
that's what Phil Spencer is doing.
yeah. Talking about Phil Spencer, good segue. To do so. Anne, do you wanna play the video or do I just say it?
No, I could play it. Give me 1 second.
Okay. Um.
All right. So there we go.
Great Project Scarlet. I want people to feel like they can have amazing. Like I want to build a great Project Scarlet. I want people to feel like they can have amazing console experiences they've never seen before, and that they've got the best lineup of content and services of any platform out there. And we're totally focused on that. And I know we have other things going with like coming to PC and xCloud, but I'll say that being a leader in console is something that the team is committed to doing, and that's we're not building this program to try to aim for second place. We were going to build it aiming for first place, and that's what I want to hit.
Eventually.
We're not in the business of out consoling Sony.
This is round two.
Oh, this round two!
Look at his face.
Like I want to build a great Project Scarlet. I want people to feel like they've.
There we go. It played through. But yeah, like I said, I mean, you can see there how that kind of played out. It wasn't pretty.
So what? So Project Scarlet is what? I forgot what Project Scarlet was.
Project Scarlet was the Series X, or not the Series X, but
Okay.
the Xbox One X. So he's saying, I want people to have the best versions.
Did we just kill the stream?
No,
Oh.
it's still playing.
So
I had
this
to
is on
refresh
record.
it.
Yeah,
Okay.
Phil Spencer on record saying they were gunning for the number one spot. This is what I keep telling people. They shot themselves in the foot with Game Pass, with day and date. Like day and date killed their sales. Whatever sales numbers they had, it's over. It's gone. And because of Game Pass, that's even less sales. This is why they had to go with cloud. Because they couldn't go anywhere else. They literally built the most powerful console and it's being outperformed by PlayStation.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely banked on the wrong wording or the wrong marketing there when they tried that, and it's not
Clearly,
working out in their favor.
clearly Xbox has a different vision. What changed?
Well, I mean, honestly,
Reality.
yeah, they. This kind of thing again. This is something I talk about with Morgan all the time, and we kind of laugh at. Xbox reminds me, they're almost like a direct reflection of their fans, right? Their fans almost always get excited about stuff too early. Like, they start calling stuff game of the year contenders and, foaming at the mouth for the excitement without any real, without being given any real reason to be there yet. And they're already claiming victory. And, how Tim Dog specifically every year is like, this is going to be the year the ponies cry. and you all are gonna wish you had an Xbox, and we're just gonna be killing it, and it's gonna be so many games you can't keep up, and it's like, who told you that? And it's like, Redfall's gonna be the start of it, and then the reality hits, and Redfall actually came out, and then apologies and bad interviews, and it's like, eh, this is the problem. Like I said, for the longest time, is that I genuinely believe at some point, even when Xbox was at their worst, they thought they were doing okay because their fan base kept telling them that. This is why I said, this is why I keep telling people the importance of letting these companies know when they screw up. Like, you have to, because otherwise they're going to sit in these boardrooms and all that, and they're going to look at the numbers, and they're going to be like, oh my God, this is so great. Like, you guys are, buying all the systems up. You guys got Game Pass locked in for 5 years. And it's like, you're just telling these people it's okay when you do these things. It's like, nobody, they don't want to listen. But then, now, like I said, you are where you are because of it. This is another good example of why I said I will always be most critical of PlayStation, because I expect
As you should.
greatness from them. I know that seems weird, like that phrasing, but it's true. When I step on these games and I truly get that from them, that's what I expect. The way that we all felt when we played Ghost of Tsushima, and you ran through the field and he put his hand down and it went through the, like, everybody knows these feelings, these moments in
Hmm.
these games that are just so special and so unlike anything else you've ever played before. um and you're just like, oh my God, I just love it. I want to take screenshots. I never want it to end. All these things you should
Hmm.
feel when you're playing the flagship version of your games, right? This is anything that has that tagline should make you feel that way, right? Like, if I don't feel in awe, despite um obviously, cell phones don't really evolve all that much anymore, but if you don't feel like, oh my God, this thing is so fast, it's so smooth, it's so fluid, when you pull out what they call a flagship phone, the iPhone, the latest iPhone, the latest Samsung, this, that, and the third, regardless of whichever one you like, when you see these things, when they come out the box, the paint on them, the UI has the latest and greatest everything. When you open Twitter at lightning speed, whatever your jam is, all
I
that.
mean, you're paying premium. You should get premium.
Exactly. Exactly. You don't want to open that up and be like, and it's like Jitterbug 2.0, the phone. That's not what you paid for. There is a phone called that, and it has a very specific reason. It's for old people, and yeah, it has really big buttons. But, hey, nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying that's not what I bought. I bought a flagship premium phone, latest and greatest, and I expect it to be that way. And when you do the same thing and you tell me that's what I should expect when I purchase this $500 box, and this is not what I'm getting, because like I said, like the hardware doesn't really mean much if you can't do anything with it. Like, I've explained this analogy 100 times, I swear, but it doesn't matter if I claim to have 1,500 horsepower in my vehicle. If I ain't got rubber to match that horsepower, my car's just gonna spin tires in place. I'm not going to be able to apply it. How do you apply
Mhm.
it? This is where the developers come in. This is where engines come in. And how well those two things work well together, along with the management and all the people in between, and those thousands of people you see at the end of a game when you beat it, how all those people come together is how you apply that power or that engineering. All that stuff has to come together in order to give us the games that we play in the end. And it's like, I just don't think people really truly understand what that takes, because they're so used to seeing. Funny enough, I swear, I keep timing this perfectly, but Spider-Man 2 is on the screen. We haven't seen much of that, right? But what
Mhm.
Xbox fans want from this is the confidence that we have that when we see Spider-Man 2, it's going to be amazing. But
You already
you
know it.
know
PlayStation got that unlocked.
exactly. There's no doubt. And they want that. And I get that. I want that for Xbox. I wish I could have the confidence that I have when Spider-Man 2 is revealed, how I'm about to pre-order so damn fast. I wish I could have that confidence in them, but I don't because they haven't earned that. You got to earn that.
No, they haven't.
If I show up every time to pick you up, me and you went to work together, and I show up on time every time at 7:59, and I'm supposed to pick you up at 8. You expect me there, and I've done that for the last 5 years. Hey, Nate is a reliable coworker that picks me up on time for work.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because I've earned that. Now, the time when I'm
Mm-hmm.
not there until 8:25, you know what? You're immediately concerned, and you should be, because I've never done that. You see what I'm saying? Like that, it's an outlier, and it's like okay, but I'm like, hey, look, I got a flat tire or something. You're like, okay, cool, no big deal. Because one time in 5 years, I did that, or that happened. Accidents happen, things happen, but it's no longer an accident. It's no longer an oopsie. For Microsoft, they didn't start doing this yesterday, and we said the same thing, and now other industry people are seeing it. It's like Microsoft is playing this "let us compete." We're a baby in this industry thing, and it's like, no, you're not, dude. You're almost old enough to drink in this industry. If we were talking about how long you've been in the industry, like, no, you're not a
And
baby.
you shot yourself in the foot.
Well, yeah, well, that again, running their mouth too much, but again, mirroring the fan base, right? Shut up, get in there, do your job, and then when you come out with the results, then have the conversation, then come out and
The,
celebrate with the fans, then do all that talking. But until then, like this whole, like I said, the pictures of Phil and Sarah and all them globe trotting around the world and living in, how that nice gown they put on from their expensive ass Airbnb. I don't care about none of that shit. Like, where my
they
games
do.
at?
They do.
They thought they did until reality hit and they realized what was really going on. Um, and but we'll see, man. You know what I'm saying? We're trying to see. And like I said, I really, really hope, because again, I don't know. I keep timing this so well, but on the screen, Starfield's on the screen right now, right?
Whee!
I'm a massive Bethesda fan, right? The developer, not the publisher. Like, always got to make that distinction because people keep screwing it up to this day. The developer, and I want them to knock it out the park, because guess what I'm gonna be doing regardless of whatever the Xbox situation is. I'm gonna be playing that game at 60 plus FPS, modded to hell and back, and I want to enjoy every single bit of that. So yes, I hope they knock it out the park. I hope this game
Are
is
they?
an 11 out of 10. Hmm?
Are they though?
I mean, I hope. I hope. And my
Mm,
confidence has never waned in that company until they until Fallout 76, because that was the one time that they failed me.
mm-hmm.
So now I got to question, what's really going on over there, and then now you're running with the company who can't deliver to save their life, and this is who your backer is.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to have faith, and I want to be like, man, you guys got this. But Redfall didn't do me any favors for, as far as the publishing, the ZeniMax as a whole, them talking about them working together with id Software and the Wolfenstein team or whatever. And it's
Mm.
like, I hope y'all work together a lot better than the Redfall team did, because it didn't help them in the slightest. That is some of the
Mm-hmm.
worst gunplay I have seen or played in my entire life. So, yeah. Well, I don't know, man. I just, it's hard to imagine a company with all these resources, money, people, talent, and just failing repeatedly,
The
over and over and over. And it's like, where, how can you guys, I get it if it was like a bad year, maybe even a bad 2 years. Hell, I mean, at the worst, maybe a bad generation, right? Uh, you know, uh, Nintendo had one, the Wii U. They cut it short, went back in the lab, and outsold everybody else. So
mm-hmm.
you can't even tell me that You can't come back from a mistake like that because you can. We've seen it.
Even with a weaker console, mind you.
Yeah, the weakest console. And that goes to show you, again, great games drive all of this at the end of the day. It's literally called gaming, man. Like people be forgetting that. I'm like, it's called gaming. We call it gaming Twitter. The gaming community. If it's about nothing else, it's about playing good or amazing games, right? I mean, people talk
Mm-hmm.
about it. Even their peers talk about it. Man, what Gorilla did, this, that, and the third. They have an awards for that, the BAFTA awards or whatever. When the
The
peers come to,
CDC, I
yeah,
think.
no, the go GDC, yeah, but they have the awards where their peers come together and they acknowledge each other and what they've accomplished. Right, the very people who know what it takes for you to get some of this stuff done, right? When you get to see and we get to hear, I mean, we're lucky that we get to hear about some of the cool stuff, right? Like the
Yeah.
infusion tech that they created in order to create the proper skin tones for black people in Horizon, right? Um,
Mm-hmm.
the way they generated like custom algorithms in order to generate the waves in that one area in Horizon. Like this is amazing, right? This is why we said we acknowledge and we know because we're into the industry, right? At a different level. If you just want to be a
Mm-hmm.
gamer, that's fine too. I tell people that all the time. But when we're having a discussion about the industry, it's because we know and we love it and we're really into this stuff. And we're curious as to what it takes to do this stuff. We may not make it, but we're as close as you can get to understanding what it takes to get this stuff done. And we have a major appreciation for it. So it's like, yeah, like this is why we are critical at the same time of some of our best games because we're like, man, we know it's tough to really get that out there. So when something comes out and it really hits, again, this is why, like you said, your frustration earlier with people just downvoting stuff or taking points off because PlayStation made it. When and you played something and you're like, I know this game is amazing. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I get your frustration with that. So yeah, when this company is failing like that over and over, I mean, what it took these people 10 years, 12 years or something to finally start acknowledging the failures of Xbox when I recognized this literally the from the jump of the Xbox One generation. Like I already seen the writing on the wall and the way they started to fail. And like, outside of Halo, Gears, and Forza, which again, they think that's a joke. Like they think everything is a meme. And I'm like, dude, it's not a joke. That's a factual statement.
That's literally what you have.
Yeah, like they're depending on those. And we're like, yeah, you occasionally have gotten some other hits in between, but guess what? A lot of those weren't first party. The Oris and some of the other games that have come out here and there that have been good. And it's like that's not coming from internally. Your problem is an internal first party problem. Like it's just it's frustrating for people not to see it. And again, this
It
this
is.
game too. I hope Hellblade 2. Again, we think this is the problem with a lot of them because this is the way they think of PlayStation fans or PlayStation in general. They think that we hate them or PlayStation or Xbox because that's how they feel about PlayStation. They wake up and they get in a circle with each other and just man,
Mm-hmm.
screw those ponies and this, that, and the third. And it's like, meanwhile, I'm talking to Morgan, who half of them have blocked, and she can't wait, and she hopes Hellblade 2 is amazing. Look at this game; it's on screen right now. Look at this game. This looks amazing. I hope Hellblade 2 looks this way,
Oh
because
no, Hellblade 2 is not gonna look like this.
I mean, I hope,
I
I
I
hope, I mean, it's probably gonna look like this on my PC if we're being honest,
yeah, PC, yeah.
because apparently that's
Um
all they keep showing games on, which again is another problem. That
mm,
a lack of transparency with showcasing your games on the product that you told me that I should trust you and buy as the most powerful console ever created.
another question for you. Have this shown okay, this what you're seeing right now,
Hmm.
does this scream confidence?
I mean, this. You mean what's on screen right now?
Yeah?
I mean, it looks good to me, but
So
what
to
doesn't scream
me
confidence to me is that it doesn't say shown on an Xbox Series X. That's my problem.
I I won't where is a gameplay breakdown? What they did with Final Fantasy 16 or God of War or Returnal or like this is one of your biggest IP now.
It is.
Shouldn't you have give it a gameplay breakdown? Show me what's different from this game to the from the previous one to this one, so I
Well,
know what I'm getting at.
I mean, I think you will eventually, but again, that's kind of the problem. Their cadence in releases, which has also been a topic of issue. You know, hey, some of these games have been in development for a very long time. We get the pandemic happened, but the pandemic didn't just happen for them. The pandemic happened for everyone. So, you know, not even just PlayStation, but tons of third party developers and stuff have released games in that time frame that they were working on shorter that are either the same size or even more ambitious than the game that you're working on, and we still haven't even seen the game again. That's the problem. There's just
Mm-hmm.
when I say that's the problem, we've pointed out multiple problems thus far, and I mean that's the problem. It's just it's sad that there's so many issues because as someone who really liked the Fable series during the 360 generation, it's sad that I have zero confidence currently in them delivering, that game to current generation standards. I can think about it. I can imagine a really great Fable that's really funny and witty and looks amazing and plays great and has all kinds of storylines, and I can imagine it, but I mean it's that's not my job. I'm the consumer, at the end of the day, and I have no confidence in this current, you know, management team to deliver, or at least get these guys in the right direction to deliver a stellar or an amazing product, right? And we mentioned earlier, PlayStation stopping the development of the Sony Santa Monica team or whatever when they were so deep in it, and after I think it was Shuhei, I think we said it was that
Yeah,
went,
sure,
yeah, he went to
Shida.
go see it, and they canned it, right? So to
Mm-hmm.
answer your earlier question, because I missed that one, but uh, yeah, I'd much rather them can something, go back to ground zero and give me something amazing. Because I
Mm-hmm.
mean, if you're known to produce greatness, why would you want to perform any other way, right? You don't. No one wants
Mm-hmm.
to step out on the field and score no touchdowns. No one wants. You don't want to, start a race and not finish it. You know, Especially
Mm-hmm.
Usain Bolt didn't get on the track to get third place. Usain Bolt got on the track to break records. Like everybody knows him as the fastest man alive. That's who you want to be. Every whether or not, even whether or not, if you know you're capable of that, that is how you should step on the field. That is
Mm-hmm.
where Phil failed his team.
Yep.
You should always step on the
Um.
field like you got it.
Yep. By the way, shout out to J Wang. Sorry I couldn't make it, bro. I appreciate the invite and listen to every show. Like, that's one of the reasons why I wanted you on, cause one, you're actually playing Tears of the Kingdom. Two, you're actually keeping it real about the game, and that's what I wanted. And no issue, dude. You're always welcome to join. Um,
I'll have had time to play it next week, so we can definitely talk
we
about it a little more next week.
Nice. What's your thought on Microsoft where they wanted to be versus where they are now? What do you think happened?
Phil Spencer happened.
This dude chose violence, which I don't disagree with. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, well, what happened is a lack of commitment from Microsoft. This is what you get when a company basically goes in haphazardly into a market they don't understand. I mean, that's why they basically got in, console business as they do with anything else. They thought like, okay, yeah, we can do this, right? We should get in there, and it took them okay, they managed to get to they were, let's say, hungry in the 360 generation, right? They wanted this. They had leadership that wanted to grow, wanted to beat PlayStation, and then they kind of gave up. Not like they got out, but like there was a talks that they might want to close the Xbox division. They closed down studios. They essentially thought like, okay, they clearly misjudged the market. They thought like, okay, yeah, gaming is not like, I don't know. They probably saw that a lot of people bought a console, bought a 360, bought a PlayStation 3, to play Netflix, right? They thought, oh yeah, we're gonna just make a multimedia device, and yeah, it can also play games, but it's a multimedia device, and they completely screwed up because nobody was uh, buying a console, uh, to use it for anything other than gaming. Yeah, it's nice. It can play. You can watch TV with it, but they completely misread in the market, and they fucked up. So that generation wasn't just lost because because they didn't have any games, because they had some games at the beginning of the generation, but because and of course, PlayStation, right? I mean, Sony screwed up the PS3 generation. They got back, and if Sony you know is on the roll, nothing is stopping them. The only thing you can do is hoping that you can at least keep up. But they did everything wrong, and they haven't, like, they've bought studios, they've bought a publisher, they tried to buy another one, but they're banking on this entire different strategy. That in that regard, I believe Phil saying like, yeah, we're playing a different game, but I don't think that game might is going to play out the way they're hoping it. I mean, it's already not playing the way it's not playing out the way they're hoping it plays out, because you know Game Pass isn't doing as well, isn't growing as fast as they were hoping it would. Like, it might very well, like, people are saying this is the future of gaming, but have we considered the possibility that maybe it isn't? Maybe this is a direction that gaming could have gone, but fails, because lots of lot of things fail, especially if you call Microsoft. But like, a lot of things have failed. Like, a lot of things have, like, I I I think that I think Microsoft also thought that HD DVD was going to be the future the future of the DVD, right? And then it turns out that Blu-ray was the became the standard. I mean, it's not always going to go the way people think it's going. And gaming is definitely a medium that uh, it's consumed differently than a show or Netflix or a movie on Disney Plus. So absolutely there are signs, at least in my opinion, that this might not go the way they were hoping would go, and that, yeah, at some point they'll have to decide, okay, are we going to stick with this? Are we going to go back? But uh, believing Phil, or believing what he said, like, it doesn't seem that they're planning to change course. So they're gonna stick with this, and yeah, maybe at some point Microsoft is gonna pull out of the console market, or maybe they're gonna be content with third place, whatever Phil's ambitions are. Which, by the way, is absolutely when I think like a lot of people, I thought like this is bad. Like, you're never gonna admit that you're gonna be stuck at third place, but I actually think it was calculated, because I think it is just he's still sort of maybe hoping, or at least playing that part that they're gonna appeal the CMA decision, and maybe gonna win the FTC lawsuit, and the EU might approve the deal, because they want to play the underdog, right? They're still playing the narrative that PlayStation is dominating everywhere. Nintendo doesn't matter unless they want to position themselves third place. Um, I think that's probably still part of that game.
I agree.
Nothing he said,
I agree.
nothing he says is without reason. Like, people are like that. That's also why I
Oh, so
don't
you
trust
think
Phil.
they trying to come over as weak? so they
Yes,
can get the
exactly,
deal.
exactly. Everything Phil says is calculated. I mean, the man is a spin doctor. Like even when he's pretending to be vulnerable. Yes, yes, I know that IGN podcast. Even his diehard defenders were saying this was a bad look, but I still think this is all part of his plan. All of all of his the spiel,
Mm-hmm.
uh, the play that
It's
he's
always the long game.
yeah, exactly,
Mm-hmm.
exactly. And even this, like, because these IGN or these podcasters, they're also they will come around because you can hear, even though they're critical now,
Oh yeah,
they have
Destin has
like
already came around. It
who?
didn't take him one day. Destin has already
Oh,
came
that's
around.
of course, because they can only do because he saw, oh shit, I'm losing subscribers.
Mm-hmm. My bad, guys.
I
I
mean,
was tripping. I don't know why I was tripping. Xbox for life,
yeah,
baby.
Mm,
uh, exactly, exactly. And Phil knows that. Phil
Mm-hmm.
knows that. He knows they're all part of it, right? They're all part of well, this hustle basically, because he's playing them, and they playing off him because he knows like Xbox fanboys love it. And who are their viewers? Who are their subscribers? Well, Xbox
Xbox
fanboys.
fan.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly, exactly. So he knows that he can go on those podcasts. They will throw him softball questions, and people will praise him for it. And even though people who will be critical will turn around because they know, well, we need those subscribers, we need those views, we need those clicks because they're not gonna abandon Phil. I mean, Phil could Phil could shoot an Xbox in the streets, and people will still praise it because hey, it's Phil. He didn't mean it that way. He didn't mean it.
No, you know what Phil meant? That was the death of the bad era and the birth of the new
Exactly.
one. That is why Phil went in the street and shot that
Mm,
Xbox. I'm with him.
Exactly.
I'm gonna go shoot mine and buy another one just to show my support.
oh yeah, they exist. There are actually people that bought their false lights. I'm like, yeah, you do you.
Yeah, but I mean, like I said, he's a used car salesman. It's all part of the long con. He's playing everybody. Nothing about him is genuine. Everything feels fake, and like you know, you guys have fun with it if you're a fan of it and you like him, whatever. But
Hmm.
you know, that dude is a snake oil salesman. I'm not gonna buy anything on that motherfucker.
It's funny listening to you say the used car salesman thing because anyone who's ever actually gone through that process knows by the time you leave the lot, you're paying for 16 things on that itemization of your car that you didn't even know existed.
Oh yeah, or even worse, trying to sell a car because then they will make up. Oh yeah, this model has some sort of obscure defect. That's why we can't pay you as much as you want. And like that's like that's when I learned like the best way to sell your car is just put an ad on the internet, right? And they'll pay whatever you want for the car.
Yeah.
Never go to a sales lot, man. But yeah, that's Phil Spencer.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
Kay might have died on us.
Yeah,
She's probably over there eating.
I think too much for her. And as for me, I already gave my opinion about it. They truly thought they were doing something good with the with that mindset, which is Game Pass, day one PC, day and day so, and yeah, that's it. And they thought they made it.
I mean, all of it has ultimately weakened their console position, which is fine, right?
They
You know,
did.
you want to play that position, that's fine, but don't cry about it in court when you're in third place and it's all your fault because
Mm-hmm.
of the decisions that you made, you know, and that
Yeah.
Was
yeah.
a gamble basically. They gambled on Phil gambled on that. Like he knew like Satya wanted to close the Xbox division. He said, like, yeah, look, we're gonna turn it around. We're gonna turn it into a service because we like services, right? Because we are not a service company. We
Mm-hmm.
sell we sell subscriptions instead of just software. We are the Azure company, right? So
Yeah.
that's how he managed to save Xbox. But just because he managed to save it at that point in time doesn't mean he's gonna be able to save it, you know, forever or entirely. Because it might just be postponing the inevitable. Because yeah, they're never going to, um, you know, get first place. And yes, part of that is because of the strong brand of PlayStation and of Nintendo. But part of that is, of course, is because they know they don't have the ability to manage these studios. They know they can't produce the quality of games that Sony and Nintendo is throwing out there.
But if they made amazing games, they would get someone like me. I would invest in an Xbox.
Yeah, exactly.
I
But
mean, plenty of
it,
us.
it is yeah, exactly. But
Like,
it is also part of like changing your management structure is pretty hard, and it's not just a matter of having the right people and the right management style, but also maybe Microsoft isn't the right company for this. They're
no, they're
maybe
not.
too much of a managing by spreadsheet company where they're just checking, oh yeah, the numbers, right? Like I find it really funny that the fanboys are praising these Xbox executives. Oh, but they're real gamers. They play games. Like, yet they don't understand games. Because if they were real gamers,
How
they
you are
wouldn't.
a gamer and you allow a game to be released like this?
Exactly. So either you're incapable of recognizing what you at least need for a quality game, or you care more about the money, which of course all of them care more about the money than anything else. But there's a difference between just doing it for the money and just throwing out whatever you can in whatever state it is just to make money,
Mm-hmm.
or being passionate about your job and
And
being
make
proud
money
of
out
what
of
you're
it.
doing. Exactly, because I generally believe, like, look, Ryan is a suit. Like I don't believe he's passionate about PlayStation. He's just good at you know uh, what he does, right?
Yeah.
But like someone like Aaron Hulse or Shu, these people are passionate about gaming. They're passionate about their job. And I don't need to see them. I know Shu plays games, but I don't need to see Herman Hulls or whatever play games or join podcasts or whatever. I need them to do their job and deliver, and I have faith in what they're doing because not only have they proven that either their hands-on experience like Herman has run a studio, but also you know we are getting quality games. They're showing that,
Mm-hmm.
and everything they say, like you can hear that. Like there's a YouTube interview with Herman Hulst and um fuck, I really having is late having brain freeze. Dude from Naughty Dog.
Oh, Neil Druckmann.
Lurkman, yes, yeah. They were just talking about Horizon and The Last of Us, and you can see that these people are. It wasn't just a scripted interview. They were passionate about. They were, and sure, no, probably they knew like some of the questions they already knew about. Like they were just asking these questions because they wanted to inform the audience, but you could feel how passionate they were about what they were delivering, what they're working on, and that's what you need. That's what that's more. You need more of that and less of, oh yeah, he played 35 minutes of Redfall, so Phil Spencer is a gamer. Like, no,
Exactly.
no.
Mm-hmm. I agree with all of the things you said. It's just they care more about friendship and a good guy than actual progress, which is why someone like Ryan, he is frustrated with PlayStation what they're getting, and he wants Xbox to have that, and he put all his eggs in that Xbox basket, and now that it didn't come to fruition, he is frustrated. Which again, you only have yourself to blame. Shout out to Eddie for
Exactly.
that line.
Yeah, man. Some of the
But
people I've seen on Twitter and stuff talking about like oh, but I had fun or whatever with, you know, Redfall or whatever. I'm like, look, let's be honest with each other for a minute. If I sat here and I asked you, hey, is this the level of quality you want from Xbox, the rest of their first party studios, for the rest of this generation? If your answer is no, then you're just bullshitting me. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, if Horizon is the level of quality that I can expect going forward, and Ghost of Tsushima, so on and so forth, and Spider Man, if that's the level of quality I can continue to expect from PlayStation, I want it. I want all their games at that level. I want all their games producing at that level, at that quality. That's what I want. I can tell you yes, unabashedly, it absolutely yes, a resounding yes. So that's why I said, like, if you can't answer that with Redfall and you're out here telling me on the timeline that people are being too harsh about it, it's actually pretty good, this and that, but you can't tell me you'd be happy with the rest of their games releasing at that quality, then you know something's wrong and you're just lying. That's what,
Mm-hmm.
and lying isn't helping anyone. It's not helping you if you like Xbox to say that this game is okay and I'll return to it once they patch it. And it's like, no, because patching it isn't going to make it good. The game is fundamentally bad. And if you don't freaking admit that, they can't know where to go to make something better. You keep telling people it's okay. Like imagine teaching your children this or teaching anything. Like if you're trying to teach your child how to clean their room, and they clean their room and it's bad, and you never say anything, and you go, good job. So from now on, whenever your child cleans their room, they clean it the exact same way, because according to their
Yep.
understanding, their parent keeps telling them, hey, what you did is a good job and mommy and daddy are happy. No,
Mm-hmm.
don't tell them that. You get in there, you go, hey, okay, so you missed a spot over here in the corner. We need to put all these toys away and organize them in here. Whatever is missed, you need to get in there at the ground level, tell them what's going on, tell them what you don't like, and then let them learn how to do it the right way. Same way when you teach someone how to wash dishes. You know what I'm
As
saying?
you should.
Yeah, like learn to do it right the first time, and you won't have to do it again. That's what I tell people all the time. I'd rather do it right the first time so I don't have to do it again. Like it's
Common sense, dude. Common sense. But clearly Microsoft
it's just
banked on the pity and
it's
stuff like that
frustrating.
and
It's
not an
frustrating, man.
actual...
It's frustrating because I really want Xbox to be good, man. I want them to be good from the
if,
ground up. I don't want them to have to buy somebody else. I know they got the
if
capable people. Be good with what you have.
they said it. They said it even on the podcast. They said it. It's frustrating because if Microsoft was pushing PlayStation to their limit, we would have had 2 to 3 showcases by now.
Exactly. Exactly.
And
And
we are
and
the
this is
ones
why I want
suffering.
Xbox to be better, because I'm like every time, even it's the slightest pressure. Like I don't think Xbox has ever pressured them like tremendously, but when it looks like Xbox is gaining the slightest momentum, PlayStation usually, you know, they hunker down and they produce something spectacular. So of
Mm-hmm.
course I want that. And I wish it would happen the same way and vice versa, but the pressure, from PlayStation clearly doesn't work because that's not the problem over there. So they got to figure out where the problem is because, they clearly want to compete. At least, if they're what they're telling me. And like I said, I don't believe anyone who's a developer that works for them goes to work to create a bad game. But if you ain't got no help, and you have no backing from this company to truly help you, then like I mean, there's nothing you could do about it, man. You can only go to work and do the best job that you can do. And I know it takes different. There's levels to this, man. Like anything else, like I said, a ton of people, even people who leave PlayStation Studios, right? How many times have we seen animators and all these people that do technical artists who go to PlayStation and work on God of War or Horizon or whatever, and they go, man, I've been in this industry for 10 plus years, and I just took my career to the next level. I did things I never thought possible. When they join PlayStation Studios, when they get to see how these companies operate firsthand, and they're like, I've never been able to do anything like this before, and I've learned so much. That is how you should come out of, a studio. Like you should always be learning something and pushing to the next level. And it's
Mm-hmm.
like, but we constantly only really hear that from people who join PlayStation Studios.
No, not
Like,
Xbox.
yeah, not
X
Xbox. No one's
play
telling you that.
Xbox Xbox people literally leave and go back to PlayStation. They can point the dude that joined the what you call it, the quadruple A studio,
Yeah, and
only
then
for him to
left
go back
shortly
to the
after.
to Insomniac, because he saw what the grass was over there. It was not green.
Yeah, and this is what I tell
It
people. I was like,
was
it's not always
absolutely
about
not green.
the money. Like a lot of these people make enough money or make more than enough money. So it's like once you're at a point in your career where you're making enough money, like what you want to do is achieve something. You want to, you know, if you're a director or a
Legacy.
cameraman, yeah, like hey, I worked on. How many people are excited or happy they worked on the John Wick series? That is one of the most legendary films in current day. John Wick. John Wick 4 did crazy numbers. It everybody loved it. Fans loved it. Like that's the kind of thing you want to work on when you put on your resume and you're like, I was part of that. I did that. That shot that everybody loves when the camera spun around. I was the cameraman that held the camera that did that. That was me. You know what I mean? That's how you want to feel in gaming, you know?
That's a resume you don't get, to top. You top it, but like that's something you want.
Yeah, those are the people you want on your team, the people who are capable of doing that. Somebody walks in my office and I'm looking for an animator, and they're like, "Yeah, that scene that everybody loved in God of War, I animated that with my team. I was the leader. I orchestrated that."
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool. I mean, you sound great. We definitely want that on our team, and we're looking to achieve, similar results, and go even further. That's what you should always be. It's always about the next level, the next push, and yeah, man, I don't know, man. I hope they get it together. I really do. Like I said, I mean, all the Xbox zealots or
Is that
whatever on
hopium?
Twitter.
Hopium?
Yeah, they
I
they, they,
think
they
you
think
read
we all
that.
hate it. We all hate it. We all hate Xbox. We all this and that. They think that, but it's like really, man. We're just in here crying. We're crying for them. We're pleading for help for y'all to get good games, so we can
Because
get
you
good
don't
games.
want to get game. You look at our game and you're like, but here you are enjoying Jedi Survivor, which let's be real, that's the most EA have one PlayStation route.
But
Like,
guess
I
what?
swear
Guess
I
what
felt
though?
like I'm
Jedi
playing.
Survivor and all those games are a learning step. That is a fruition or the result of EA finally learning after they got smacked in the face talking about single player games wasn't shit, and they got smacked in the face directly, and now they're turning their shit around. They're going from the
Like,
most hated company.
Fallen Order was okay.
Mm-hmm.
Jedi Survivor, it's like I swear at times I feel like I'm playing a PlayStation game.
And I concur.
That's
Now
how
that I'm
great
playing it,
it.
I definitely see why you say that.
So don't tell me, not you, that the company is not capable of changing. They are. This is EA. EA
Yeah,
we're talking about. And look how they turn shit around.
it's impressive, man. And you can't tell me they can't do both. I mean, they did. Look at that. The same company that gave you Apex Legends and Titanfall gave you a combination of some of the best multiplayer and single player experiences around. And this is a single company underneath EA. It didn't stop them from making Madden, didn't stop them from making FIFA and all those other games. But guess what? I'm sure the people that love those games love and appreciate when advancements from other games come into those games and they get better physics and the ball players move more fluidly and you can do more tricks with the soccer ball and you can like whatever it is, man. Like everybody wants the games that they enjoy to be better, or at least they should. If you're a gamer, you want that,
Mm,
you know.
but with that being said, I think we have come to the end of this podcast. All I would say is, where's the game, PlayStation? Come on, where's the showcase?
Absolutely. It's
You're
time for that showcase.
slacking.
Time for that showcase, man.
Where is the showcase? How you gonna announce yourself at Summerfest, but you're not gonna announce yourself at your own showcase?
Yeah, it's time for PlayStation to put that solid 2 hour, big screen
Like,
show together.
yeah, when this showcase happen, I need minimum 2 hours. We're not gonna think 2 hours, but more than 1 hour. Like, we need content. And for the people, don't get this mistaken with we're starving. We're not starving. We're looking forward to Final Fantasy 16. I'm looking forward to Stellar Blade. I'm looking forward to Spider-Man 2. But you know what I am also? I'm a gamer. I want to see what's next for the industry. I want to see what's next for triple A and double A and quadruple A that's done by PlayStation, not Xbox. Because clearly quadruple A by Xbox means getting managed by a different company. But that's the point beside the point. Um, let's get to the outros. Where people can find you.
You can find me on Twitter as Weep Sheriff at Infinite Rhizo and Autonation.
And Kay, you can find her at Kaylee on Twitter. Author donation, I guess. Um, and Nate, thank you for the host. And where people can find you.
Yeah, people can find me on Twitter at the real innate. As usual, man, keeping it gaming. Good show.
Don't believe you, game. I would like to talk about that because real talk. With Jedi Survivor, I want to post so much gameplay, but I'm afraid because it got spoilers in it. So I'm not sure where is the spoiler limit where you can actually post some gameplay content that is bot related or a mini bot related.
Yeah, I've definitely seen some on accident.
Yeah,
But
that's
nothing
why I
nothing for
don't want to
Morgan. Morgan was
post.
really careful with it and she didn't spoil anything for me, so
Hmm. Like there is shit tons of stuff that I save because that's some great boss fight. But I'm gonna start dropping the smaller stuff right now. The thing is, I dislike having to genuinely stop so I can put a video together and drop it. Because I just want to go back to gaming.
no, I
If
mean,
I
like I
had
said,
someone.
the my excitement for it was already really high because, like I said, I was listening to Morgan play and just her, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, like, and
Yeah.
I was like, okay, like for Morgan to be that hype while she's playing the game, I'm like, that's rare, that's PlayStation esque. So I like already knew to expect something
Oh, yeah.
amazing, and it has been so far. So
But yeah. As for me, people can find me at Carb_Jab on Twitter and Gameplayer. Vitamin G podcast every Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Look, at the end of the day, we all gamers. Most people of us here, no, all of us here, excluding me, own most consoles on here. So we want the best for the industry. But clearly, the industry and most people in it, they don't want the industry to move forward, which is frustrating. But hey, that's how it is. Let us compete, right?
yep,
And shout out to Stardust. Appreciate it, man. And yeah, Nate, feel free